the last decade, this group of young athletes has embraced the evolution of the game, and you can see it in that video. There weren't scripts there. Those were athletes that took the time to chat with us, making themselves accessible throughout this event. I think what makes this event different than others is the chance to be close to these players. Hunter, you heard the energy, and again, you've gotten to know them throughout this week. When you see a piece like that that's so beautifully done by our production team, what are your thoughts as someone who played with that kind of energy and that kind of passion? As a younger player, too, you're not too far away from playing, man.
It's very exciting, and it's fun to see the personalities of these young players. Some of them know each other from travel ball and this, that, and the other, but East versus West, it's exciting. It's parts of the country. We talk about it in all of the, in all of your teams in pro baseball. So it's fun to watch these two sides compete.
David, again, the confidence, it comes from the ability. As you've seen 3 decades worth of high school classes, where is this one? I know you've already told the viewers arms are here, but how will they impact the draft next year?
Oh, it's going to be a big thing because I think teams have gotten away from high school pitching as analytics has taken over, but I think the pitchers are just going to be too good next year. There's going to be too many guys who not only throw mid-90s, but they have the secondary pitches, and I think that's going to be a theme that we're going to be able to develop today. Just not the velocity. We're going to develop the changeup, the slider, the curveball theme, and throwing them for strikes as well.
One of the other themes you will see in this game is you'll see Trevor Hoffman pop around. Trevor Hoffman is the host to this game, and it's his efforts here in this ballpark that have made everyone feel at home. It's his leadership. He's standing by Dylan Leskos, who was a top fundraiser. Dusty Jaquins, the CEO in that good-looking orange shirt, standing to his left. Up top, Chops, the title sponsor of the Perfect Game All-American Classic. And in that group, a young, a little bit smaller All-American. He's not a player out front out there, but a young man who they all got to know by the name of Carter Santos. He beat cancer and Rady Children's Hospital. Hey, Carter, you are a hero, man. Hunter, all these athletes loved being around Carter, and they were inspired by his, just battle and defeating cancer.
I think it inspires all of us to have that spirit, that comeback spirit, to come out, throw the first pitch. You heard all of the players just really get, emotional and get into him coming out and throwing that first pitch. It gets you excited, gets you pumped up, and we're all on the same team when it comes to that. Nice job, Carter.
Excellent stuff. His mom, Nicole, shared a great story. Look at Trevor Hoffman. He just embodies San Diego. Karsten Sabathia, the son of CC Sabathia, the other top fundraiser for Perfect Game Cares and for Rady Children's Hospital. This event, too, David, I think for scouts, if you're a scout, I want to have you put that hat on. And okay, you've sat down. It's destination viewing. You are making sure that, let's say you live in Virginia and you're a scout for the Nationals. What do you see in this game? It's an all-star game. Pitchers are going to maybe blow a lot of hitters away, but what are you scouting in this game?
And what you're seeing is the best versus the best. You're going to have the 19 best pitchers in the country facing the 37 or whatever it is top hitters in the country. And you want to see these individual matchups. The players sort of made light of it right there at the beginning, but that's from a scouting perspective, that's what you're looking at, is the pitcher versus the hitter matchups.
What are you most excited to see? Each and every week we host a college baseball show, so we talk, you and I, Hunter, to college athletes and coaches all the time. You've really dove deep back into that space over the last year. So tonight, what are you looking to see in this game?
There's so much I'm excited to see. First and foremost is how polished players are these days. The young players are so much more talented than they were when I was a kid. There's more information, there's more workouts, there's more science behind everything. But I want to see your body language. I want to see your attitude. I want to see, how do you command the batter's box? How patient are you? How do you command the pitcher's mound? How do you play on defense? So I want to see, if I was a scout and I was looking to draft, or I'm rooting for my team to pick up a player, I want to see how they carry themselves and get deep into, this is the biggest stage. How's your heartbeat? How do you handle it?
Dylan Leskos goes to work. He does so against that West starting lineup with some interesting names at the very top. You remember Carl Crawford out of Las Vegas, Nevada. There's Justin Jackson Holiday, the son of Matt Holiday. Jason Jones, Hunter talked about him coming on the air. I'm proud to watch Gavin Turley just about every weekend. I'm in Arizona. And catcher Malcolm Moore's going to Stanford. Dom Hellman, huge power. Schubart killing out of Wisconsin. Mikey Romero, you know the Romero sisters, by the way. The legendary softballers, that's the baseball version. He is the younger brother. Kaden Martin, Karsten Sabathia. David, they hit 11. That's kind of showcase style, right?
That's showcase style. You want to get more hitters into the game. It's the same thing that happens at PG tournaments. We not only have a designated hitter, we have an extra hitter. It's just to get more kids in the lineup.
Dylan Leskos from Buford, Georgia, Buford High School. Stuart Chester is his high school coach. He is a Vanderbilt commit, and he is the son of Corey And Sean is his stepmom, and Caitlin is his mom. And, or I should say, is his sis. Beck is his mom. So congratulations. A lot of love around Dylan Lesko, all of them celebrating him tonight. This is the Gatorade 20 and 21 National Baseball Player of the Year. David, he's a 4.0 in the classroom, heavy volunteering. And who does he love? I mean, who does he really love to watch? How about Walker Bueller and Zach Greinke? He learns from both of them. Lesko is on the mound. And when you think of these guys, David, give me some perspective.
Well, these aren't the best big league pitchers ever who've gone to perfect game. These are the best when they were pitching in perfect game events. I think Dylan Lesko's right at the top of that company of goats. Got Kumar Rocker, Hunter Green, of course, who's throwing 103 in the AAA in the red system, the late Jose Fernandez, and one of my favorites, Scotty Kazmir. But these are all pitchers who dominated with quality stuff when they were at PG. Dylan Lesko may be the most dominant of them.
Justin Crawford will lead things off. Crawford, he's another one that has become, I guess you'd say, David talked about a rising pitcher. He's become a rising hitter. His stock going very high. He's out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Bishop Gorman and Gino DeMaria is his coach. Plays for CBA. John Pano runs that travel team. Carl Crawford is dad. Amy Freeman is his mom.
And Carl Crawford, very important in the history of perfect game. He went through was really one of the first young superstars back in the formative days of perfect game. So a player, dad, that we've always held a very soft spot for in the perfect game hearts.
First pitch, a fastball that dots the outside corner at 95 miles an hour. 0-1 the count to Justin Crawford.
And the thing I think we're going to see out of Dylan Lesko from the get-go is fastball command. The National Showcase, his first 12 fastballs were all strikes. And Hunter, you know how it is important. If a pitcher can get ahead with his fastball, that opens up the whole at-bat.
It's very important, and it's important to have confidence to throw your fastball in the zone, and he just did right there, 3 of them in a row.
95, 96, and 96. 1, 2, 3.
One thing I find, ooh, man, he missed that like quite a bit, but that's a good short swing. He had a chance, just got to get on top. Some of these guys, it looks like Lesko's ball almost rises because his release point is so low.
Out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, this is Jackson Holliday. Scorpions his travel team as he takes a fastball in. He's an Oklahoma State commit where he'll play for his uncle. And certainly a baseball family. We loved watching Matt play. But Hunter, he's a different type player. This is a guy a little smaller in frame, lean, athletic. Dad was a big bruiser from the right side. This is a skillsy, toolsy left-handed hitter.
Yeah, it's definitely a different body frame than you expect from Matt Holliday. This was an absolute beast. I think it's so exciting. We have so many, family major leaguers right now with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, Fernando Tatis Jr., and now we're seeing more of the family that we started with Crawford, and we're going into Holliday. There's 6 of them that are former major league families, so this is pretty exciting to watch their kids play.
Yeah, and you can tell with the Jackson Holliday and the others that they've been around ballparks so much, and the genetics matter, but just being raised in ballparks is important.
On the ground, rolled out to the right side. That is gobbled up on that right side by Naz Muley out of New Jersey. We talk about this is crazy, David. I mean, we talked about this last night. The Jones name, Crawford, Holliday. You'll see Sabathia and Mason McGuire, who's a pitcher who pitched in game 1 of this series of games on Friday night.
Yeah, that's just so impressive with the All-Stars. Also had the 6-member big leaguer whose son is playing this is Luke Collier, dad Cam Collier's son. So there's 6 sons of big leaguers here.
Jason Jones takes his chance now. Braswell High School, the Texan, slightly closed stance, and a changeup dives under his hands for strike 1.
Now that was a predictable. You saw in the opening that Dylan and Jason were going to go for each other. For Lesko to break out a first pitch changeup, almost unfair.
That was rude. I mean, come on. All the fastball confidence. First pitch changeup, chain backs it up. Have some fun.
Have some fun. And then you're the one who said you love Jason Jones, aggressiveness and all. When you see 2 straight changeups, now how can you be aggressive as a hitter?
He's got a battle, but look at his presence. He's definitely all over the strike zone. He's not backing down. I just like his balance. He looks ready on time. Look, fighting that off. Foul ball. That's a tough pitch right there. This is one of the most electric arms. We're watching a 97 explosive, kind of one of those, what is the spin rate, the vertical axis? It's tough to get on top of that ball, so I like his presence right now.
Jason is the son of Tim and Kim. Dad played Division I baseball, was drafted, played a little bit professionally. Mom, a Division I basketball player. JJ, as he is known, his travel team, the famed Dallas Tigers. They, of course, produced Clayton Kershaw. You've heard that name. And a breaking ball. Outside corner, strike 3. Young man touches 9. So one pitcher touches 97 with his top fastball, and then another goes back to work and does so for the West squad. He's out of Michigan. His name is Brock Porter, and oh, what a lineup he will deal with. And there are the top-ranked young men in that lineup with Andrew Jones at the top. Tamar Johnson, Elijah Green. That's 3-2-1, 1-2-3 in the rankings. Paxton Kling out of Pennsylvania. Roman Anthony homered in the scrimmage. Cam Collier just reclassified if you look on down the lineup. Luke Heyman, talented catcher, Floridian, working behind the plate. Brock Porter on the mound. Milford, Michigan, Orchard Lake, St. Mary's. Canes National, his travel team, as the first pitch dives down and in. 1-0 the count. He's the son of Michelle and Todd, and the younger brother of Peyton, who is 20 years old. Big Sis. He pours a fastball in there at 95 miles an hour.
Well, in Brock Porter, you're going to see two different things. You're going to see the power of the fastball. He's up to 97 at the PG National Showcase. He touched 100 this spring pitching in high school, so the arm strength's there. But his second best pitch, just like Dylan Leskos, is his changeup. It's not a firm, lively changeup like Leskos. It's a -20 changeup off the fastball.
Drew Jones puts it on the ground, hustling up the line, racing up the line, and Andrew has a base hit. The Vanderbilt commit out of Wesleyan High School in Georgia, and the son of Gold Glover winner just about every single year, Andrew Jones, and Nicole, his mom. Nothing you could do with this one, Hunter.
Yeah, that's speed doesn't slump is something we used to say. Put the ball on the ground and fly, and it just kind of caught a couple extra steps there and takes advantage.
So Porter with the base runner to deal with right out of the gates, and wearing number 42 and proud of it is Tamar Johnson. Johnson, the winner of the Home Run Derby earlier today. Explosive hitter in that frame as the fastball is outside at 96 miles an hour. 1-0 the count to the young man out of Atlanta, Georgia, East Cobb Astros, his travel team. Kim and Terry are mom and dad, and they're all baseball players, all his brothers. Tervant, Terens, Tervel, mom ran track in college, dad, a baseball coach, played football as well. And by the way, guys, as great as he is, he's a 4.2. That 42 honors Jackie Robinson. That also is his GPA, 4.2.
I want to ask David, where would you compare his barrel control? Because it just looks like he's got one of the smoothest swings, kind of a Garrett Anderson, Ken Griffey Jr. type swing. Where would you compare that?
The barrel control is very high. I think it's more he's always on time. He's a rhythm hitter. You see he's real busy there with the barrel, but just like a Gary Sheffield, some of the busy big league hitters, they have the rhythm to their swing, and he's always on time coming out of that busy load. There's such great rhythm there, and I think that leads to the barrel control.
He's played internationally as well. Played with the USA national team in Carmen, Mexico, as he comes up empty that time. 3-1 aggressive cut, trying to drive the baseball.
Porter pretty much just going with the fastball so far, 94, 97.
One thing I'm a fan of it's tough to do is like the early leg kick. And I know it's a big leg kick and people will dissuade it, but some of the new tech is like that you're more athletic, but it has to be early. He's really on time with his leg kick.
Fastball gets it right by him at 95 miles an hour. Johnson goes down on strikes that time.
Yeah, and if you're expecting a game with low number of strikeouts, you've turned to the wrong channel. There will be strikeouts this game. The pitcher's stuff is so good, but these hitters are up there trying to do something. They're going to get 1 or 2 at most 3 at bats, and they're going up taking their hats.
Here's the talented Elijah Green at IMG Academy. Green, such a pleasure to watch, and he goes to work. Line drive in the left center field. It is down. Dad Eric Green playing for so long and so well with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Elijah Green with a base hit. A little bit of noise off that bat. He turned around mid-90s.
A little bit of noise, a lot of noise. Got a fastball right where he wanted it and just crushed it. Love to hear the exit velocity on that one.
You definitely got to see the speed here. We get to watch him get a double. You like the hustle as he's pointing to the dugout and hitting a double. But hey, he's fired up. He's pumping the forearm, showing off the muscles, and yeah, we got to see a barrel right there.
Paxton Kling takes the opportunity with a couple of base runners out there out of Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. Canes National, his travel team. This is an LSU commit, and the son of Craig and Beth. Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year in 2021. And this is a player who's LSU committed and then backed off when they made a coaching change, so he's an available player. I think I may have said LSU, and he was originally as a young man. He's getting to know Jay Johnson, his words to me, over the last couple of weeks when he came on our national radio show. Interesting, you have Tamar Johnson available. You have this man, David, now available.
And I think these players know that, you know, they're very likely, especially in Tamar's case, to get a chance to play pro ball. They've got decisions. They can probably play for anyone in the country, but especially with Tamar's grades. So it's just, there's no reason to commit too early for this type of player, basically.
Now, David, how often do these guys see this type of velocity? Are they playing in tournaments where they see 95 regularly? Because it's a different animal.
I wouldn't say regularly. As Kling lifts that to the middle of the field.
Justin Crawford is there. He makes the play. Fires it toward the plate. Not in time. With a head first slide, Andrew Jones come on down. Elijah Green moves all the way over to third. Sac fly, RBI. Play was made out there in center field by Justin Crawford.
To continue your point, Hunter, 95 is just not for players in pitching the All-American Classic. There are dozens of pitchers around the country who are throwing 95 who aren't here in San Diego. So is it common? Absolutely not. But it used to be that, you know, 90 was what you wanted to hit. Now maybe 94, 95 is what you want to hit to put yourself on the map. Velocity has done the same thing at this level as it has at the big league level.
This is Roman Anthony from the left side, and a changeup has him drifting out front from mid-90s to 78 miles an hour. Roman's out of Parkland, Florida, Stoneman Douglas High School. Todd Fitzgerald, a well-known head coach at the high school level, his main man. He's an Ole Miss commit. Another changeup flutters wide. He's the son of Lori and Tony, and Anthony wowed everyone in the exhibition scrimmage the other night by hitting one over the boards at the University of San Diego. He had something interesting happen, Hunter. I'd love for you to reflect. He played in the high school All-American game before the All-Star game in Colorado. Struck out in his first 4 at-bats and then homered in his 5th.
Well, it looks like he's definitely taking a swing to take you deep. He's not lacking confidence, but, you know, if he gets a hold of one, it looks like he can get a hold of one at any time. He's always dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good-looking changeup. He was respecting the danger that Hunter was talking about. Roman Anthony, we're underway. In G-Form baseball guards. G-Form, made for the moment. And by Top Chops. Play hard, chew easy. Top Chops. Gavin Turley to lead things off, a young man out of Arizona. He is in the left field spot to start things. And get to know Jackson Ferris. As far as left-handers go, he's right at the top of the list. An Ole Miss commit, plays for the Canes national team. Fires a fastball low and inside, 95 miles an hour. Jackson out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. And that one in off the plate, but got a generous call. Lena is mom, Jason is dad, Bro is Spencer. Jackson Ferris on the mound. And he's working against Turley. Oh, what a breaking ball, but it dives low. Turley, a talented young man out of Chandler, Arizona, Hamilton High School. BPA, his travel team. Jared Sandler runs that team. He's an Oregon State commit. Goes up on that toe and takes a fastball in. 3-1 the count. What do you have for me on Turley?
Well, first of all, the tools. He's my Benny's Award winner, named after Benny Montgomery, because the tools are just extreme. 6'2", runner, throws 97 from the outfield. Was the runner-up in the home run derby. So you know the bat speed and power's there. But Hunter, we were talking about leg raises last inning and rhythm in the swing. My one issue with Gavin Turley is that he changes his swing, his front leg load. It seems like almost every pitch at times, and it's hard to get that rhythm as a hitter. And I think he's best when he doesn't do anything. I could almost call his home runs in the home run derby by what his front foot was doing, not by what his barrel was doing.
Well, we're watching him. He's trying to put the foot down early. You can tell he's working on it. It's one of those things you just got to keep practicing, because unconsciously, I used to do this. They used to try to force me to put my foot down. It was like a big craze whenever I was in high school. And I would put my foot down, and I would think it stayed down, and I would step again. Watch, foot down, step again. He does it. That's unconscious. That's a tough pitch. Pretty nasty right there. Good spot.
94 miles an hour. It's called a strike, upper tier of the strike zone. So Jackson Ferris, in the world of the modern high strike, right there just below the letters. You'll see that called in the big leagues as well now.
Well, Ferris, you saw breaking ball there, 79, but he is primarily a fastball pitcher. 94, 96, very steadily. He was IMG's #1 starter this year as a junior, and pitched in all their big games, went 8-0 and just dominated some of the best high school teams in the country.
Meet Malcolm Moore, and the breaking ball has him diving out of the way. Malcolm is a Stanford commit. There is a brain inside that head on the shoulders that is second to none, but he can flat catch as well. Malcolm, the son of Billy and Tracy, and the brother of Wilson. Wilson is 20 years old, but we've really enjoyed this Sacramento, California native with the slightly open stance, as that one is dotted over the outside corner. 4.5 GPA. Dave Esker excited to get him to campus if he makes it there, and is it drafted too high, excited to get him to Stanford.
Well, Moore is the #1 ranked catcher in the 2022 class, and it's really for a combination of his defense and his offense, but just an outstanding hitter as well as a catcher, and especially a left-handed hitting catcher. Hunter, you know how rare left-handed hitting catchers are in the big leagues.
Yeah, getting a good hitting catcher in the big leagues is absolutely rare, but getting one that can play defense is the most important. But he's got a great swing here. This is a tough call right here to face left-handed Ferris throwing bullets at your head. And you said he's got a lot in there. He's got the duck mechanic as well. So tough at bat right here, battling 2-2.
The talented Ferris peers over that beautiful blue glove. Seems like he had a design for this event. Fastball, ground ball out to short. Surrounded out there by New Jersey and Naz Muley. For a quick thought on Jackson Ferris, we'd like to bring in the fourth member of our broadcast team, Danny Wexelman. What do you have for us on Jackson, Danny?
Well, earlier at PG National in July, Darren, Jackson told me that he's been working on being mentally prepared for big moments. IMG has taught him how to play in front of big crowds, play in big moments, and also learning how to work out. He said he's still adjusting to working out. He's also working on a slider. He said he's a small-town kid from Mount Airy, North Carolina, and the late nights with Dad have been worth it. Dad, Jason, all that hard work, he told me, is paying off.
Good stuff, Danny. He now goes to work against Dominic Hellman, one of the biggest men with the bat in his hands. He's out of Mill Creek, Washington. It has been explosive power at the PG National Showcase. Here, David, he's going to try and hang in the middle of the infield despite being as big as Aaron Judge. You love the raw power.
Oh, the raw power is without a doubt the best in the class. During the home run derby, we saw him hit balls that places that nobody in the high school ranks can hit him in this big league ballpark. So the power is there. It's, as with any big power package, it's going to be the frequency and what he does with that kind of pitch, as we see maybe Ferris's best breaking ball so far.
He's an elite two-sport athlete. Basketball is on his resume, baseball as well. BJ and Sophie are his parents. It's just the three of them. He's an only child. That one sails to the backstop. Hunter, 6'6", and he wants to hang in the middle of the infield.
You know, these, like I said, the kids are very athletic, and you know, there's people always breaking barriers. So if he's got the athleticism and the skills to do it, the hands to do it, why not?
You see the Western Metal Supply Company sign? He hit it in the Derby off of the word Western. The second E in there. Yeah, that's real. Looked like he might have got him. He did not go around.
I have to say, Ferris's fastball is really impressive, and for a high school kid to be letting out these catapult bullet cannonballs that he's throwing, this is a real plus fastball, and it's fun to watch his body control on the mound right now.
Breaking ball, that's the pitch I like. I'm going to tell you this, that's an even better take than it is a breaking ball. How do you take that pitch?
You know, he must have honestly kind of seen it, maybe. I don't know. That's a tough one, because if that was a fastball, it might have been a strike, but he's got a lot of, to go from 95 to 79, maybe he's slowing up a little bit and he caught on to it.
Nolan Schubart gets the call now, and Nolan has been around these perfect game events for quite some time. Shuby, as he is known, Durand, Michigan, another one that plays at that Orchard Lake St. Mary's great program. He is a Michigan commit. He'll be headed to Michigan, and he's straightened up that time. Mike and Paulette are his parents. He's all league, all Catholic, all everything in the state of Michigan, and summa cum laude in the classroom, a 4.0 GPA, Nolan. That fastball at 93. Boy, good two-seam dive to that pitch. That's no fun.
I feel like Shuby is such a great baseball name and such a good, easy baseball nickname. Hey, Shuby! Shuby. Love that. Let's go, Shubster.
You guys and your nicknames. I feel like it's a commitment to a manager. A manager in a post-game press conference in the big leagues can never refer to a player just by, let's say it's Mike Trout. Yes, Mike played well. It's Trouty or Mikey or Pensy.
It's just baseball. You never call anybody by their name. It's just, and that's how we refer to each other. But Shuby just freaking unloaded a freaking huge hack, a Shubster hack. What do you got for us, David, on Shubinator?
That's what you're going to see from Shuby.
He loves watching Christian Yelich play. Luis Gonzalez in that dugout, the manager. Rolls it to the right side, into the glove. Right on over to the bag. The play is made that time. Big Jaden Hilton over there turns it into an out. Perfect game, All-American.
Both be in it. But you said totally different players. Hitters, high school hitters are not looked at the same way. But when you see the number of at-bats they have, that's a big thing for college hitters. They've shown it. They've gone out and hit against older, mature players. They've got the repetitions. But when you look at that number, 519 at-bats for Tamar Johnson, he has the repetitions too.
Do it, Adonis Guzman, by the way. I'm seeing you block that ball up behind the plate. Do it, man.
He's blocked 2 or 3 pitches this inning very well, which is great to see because he's the arm. He's the Adonis arm.
That's a slider that skips on by him that time. And so with 2 outs, the runner will take off and reach. He'll get on himself a little bit about that. But again, we're seeing a lot of Duke Kanich, and I'm sure he wished we weren't. I'm sure he wished he was back in there. But gosh, David, the raw stuff is electric.
Yeah, and the most difficult job, by the way, in a game like this is to catch, because you're dealing with pitchers who are out there throwing nasty stuff. Adonis Guzman may have never caught Dukanich before. So he's seeing a player, he doesn't know how his ball behaves or anything like that, and you're out here on national TV trying to block this stuff, catch this stuff, frame this stuff. It's really hard for these catchers.
Paxton Kling digs in out of Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. Is a high-skilled athlete who is, when you ask him which baseball players he'll dial up on his phone and watch clips of, he makes it clear. Pete Rose. I watch him all the time. That's a great thing, folks, about YouTube. You can go watch whoever you want.
That is wild to me because Pete Rose I don't know if he was playing while this young man was alive. So how does that happen? It's amazing. And, Pete Rose is the hit king. So it makes sense to watch the guy who did it the most.
I thought you'd like that answer, though. I mean, and I talked to him about it because I shared with him that despite my dad being a Hall of Fame player, Don Sutton, Pete Rose was my favorite player, too. My late father never had a problem with that. He was fine with that. But we share the same favorite player, Paxton Kling and I. Hunter, what do you have for me on the hair, the flow?
It's definitely some big league flow right there, and he already gets a whole bunch of credit points for watching Pete Rose and only Pete Rose. Find a way to get hits, and Pete Rose has so many great quotes, and he was one of my favorite players as well. It's cool that the kids they all have a lot of old timers and respect for the old timers. Some of my nephews, they all love the old timers and the MLB The Show game and all of that. So big league hair for sure, 100%. Little Jankowski-ish.
Ooh, I like that. He said his inspiration are his parents, Craig and Beth. He said they inspire me because they're hardworking, determined, yet caring. So my dad takes me to every event. My mom stays home and takes care of our family. I'm a very fortunate man, he says, as he rolls that one out on a high bounce, racing to the bag, the big fella. Stepping on it is Dom Hellman out of Washington, a 5 unassisted, stomping on the bag. Oh, Luke Heyman. Sully, will he make it to campus as a Florida Gator? He just homered at the PG All-American Classic. Now we're rolling.
Find your rhythm, your happy place. Find your breaking point. Then break it. Every emergency gives you a potent blend of nutrients, so you can emerge your best with Emergency.
It's not just the ships, the armor, or the aircraft. It's something more. It's the will to fight and determination to win, found inside each and every Marine that answers a nation's call. Battles won.
Baseball is competitive. Only a handful reach the top. You have the goals, the drive, and a dream of playing at the next level. We've helped those that made it be seen. Now, it's your turn. Let our experts train you the right way to prove you have what it takes to succeed. Become tomorrow's athlete today with Perfect Game Development, your best step to the next level. Boy, our Perfect Game stat of the game and the final fundraising, raising funds for Perfect Game Cares and also for Rady Children's Hospital. Dylan Leskos and Karsten Sabathia doing dramatic work. This is a record, by the way, $108,000 raised for underserved youth to take part in sports and academics more so, and also against the fight for pediatric cancer. So congratulations on the PG Cares Foundation, the brainchild and the heart effort of Jerry Ford, the founder of Perfect Game. Jennifer Ford, the chairperson of that great group, does such a great job, and so congratulations to all those gentlemen. Lefty Brandon Berryera is out of Hollywood, Florida. He's about to deal with Justin Crawford for the second time. Brandon's at American Heritage High School. Bruce Avon, the head coach of that program, and Brandon, Cannon's Baseball University, his travel team, where Nick James is his coach. And Brandon is a Vanderbilt commit, as he has a quick prayer before he goes to work with number 11 on that jersey, the son of Melissa and Sergio. It's Brandon Berryera.
Brandon has just gotten better by little increments so consistently over the last couple of years. It's never been that big jump. It's just a mile or two an hour here. It's the sharper slider, the more consistent slider. The slider's his pitch, though. He'll reach back and touch 95 maybe, but the slider's the one that's dominated competition so far.
He's very honest about what pushes him, and he was clear, and these are his words. I rode the bench for 5 years when I played travel ball. I worked my butt off to earn a spot and to master my craft. Guys had more talent at the time, but I would not let them outwork me. 5 years he was way down on the depth chart. He's not anymore. And guess what, Brandon? You're a Perfect Game All-American now.
These guys are so polished, it's hard to believe that they're in high school, because we're watching just a really elite level, and you can tell that he's been working. He's been working for 5 years. You can tell he's dialed in exactly how he's standing on the mound. He's on that far side, and he knows what he's doing.
Look at the dive on that two-seamer, Pence. Are you kidding me?
I mean, 3-0, just let the fastball fly, and man, that thing definitely took a dive. That's bottom dropped off of that. That was 93. He took a little bit off, got a little movement.
Goes back to the same spot, 93, right up to the shins. That one goes. You don't see too many turbo sinking lefties, and that's a turbo sinker. That's a little bit of the if you're talking Dodgers, the Alexander that comes out of the bullpen, throwing those huge sinkers. Look at, he chokes way up on the bat with 2 strikes now on a 3-2 count as that one's outside. Good at bat in the end. He let it eat 3-0, dealt with a tough pitch, and all of a sudden went to 3-2 and then earned himself a walk. That's a pretty good bat.
Yeah, I like the choking up. You see that once in a while, but in today's game you really don't. But Crawford, with such great speed, he just needs to put the ball on the ground with 2 strikes facing the tough lefty, and he can have a productive at-bat, or he can lay off that slider. and still have a productive at-bat.
All right, Jackson Holliday, your turn again. He grounded out to second base as that one is driven back to the bag. Give him some spare time, Heyman. He's very popular. Guys that hit homers are very popular. I've learned that. I don't like him necessarily, the former pitcher, in me at all.
Speaking of the former pitcher in you, what do you think of the mechanics here? It's pretty solid, huh?
Hey, hangs over the rubber a long time, gives his arm a chance to get up top. We remember lefty Mackenzie Gore, who has made it to the big leagues with the Padres, a talented lefty. Yeah, it's just very athletic. It's very simple, Hunter. Beautiful throw down. And Jones, who is back behind the plate. Jared Jones makes that throw. Stolen base. Good speed there, Justin Crawford.
Well, that's a speed steal on the pitcher thing. Justin Crawford, a 6-1-1 runner. But Jared Jones did a nice job getting out of there, getting rid of the ball. I had 189 on the stopwatch on that pop time in game. 189, which is exceptional. And Jones threw out 3 guys at PG National from, in his work behind the plate there. So you combine Jones's size, 6'5", 230, with the ability to get rid of the ball like that, the arm strength. That throw was right on the bag, too.
Yeah, he definitely stole that off the pitcher, but he's greased lightning out there. That was I've never seen someone gain so much ground. He's flying, great throw, but you can't get him if he steals it off the pitcher, which you most likely, you almost always are doing.
I'm stuck on your question you asked me. What do you think about his mechanics? Because he certainly looks athletic. That's where I want to start. He looks very athletic, Berryera does.
Well, when I'm watching a pitcher, I'm just kind of watching for release angles. I don't know mechanics at all. I'm just looking at the miles per hour, how the ball's moving, and kind of his athleticism. So, like, what am I going to do to face it as a hitter? He's pretty fluid. Seems like he knows where it's going. But to me, I feel like he's got great body control.
Well, I'm looking at the plant leg. He plants so well there, gets his arm out front and extended, but he's still throwing off that front side so well and using that landing leg as a lever. Snapped off a nasty slider there to Jackson Holliday, who, as we were talking earlier, has some of the best barrel control in the class, but he didn't have a chance against that slider.
Jason Jones was a Jackie Robinson Award finalist last night, deservedly so. You think about that Dallas Tigers team, you think about Clayton Kershaw, you think about Hunter Dozier, but the list is incredible. Yovani Gallardo, Zach Duke coming through there. Just a lot of fun names, dozens and dozens that have also played travel ball for that Dallas Tigers team.
Former PG All-American Michael Kopeck, now with the Chicago White Sox.
He has a batter's box presence that he is so excited to destroy anything you throw over the plate. Just look at him. He's like, please throw me a strike. Like, please throw me a strike.
Runner on the way to third, fired down. It was a huge jump. Not much you could do about that. He swiped that one on the pitcher.
And that's instincts, just good baseball instincts. And man, he can just absolutely move. It's fun to watch him run, a lot like his dad.
He won the Leaf Baseball Card Most Projectable Award, did Crawford last night. Jason Jones, the Win Reality top performer, 2 great partners of Perfect Game. What a smile he had on his face, Jason Jones. JJ. Tied him up, that one down and in. That had some cut to it. Yikes.
I like young power hitters who get right up there on the plate, which Jason Jones does. He wants the ball in the inner half. He's going to create, the angle with the pitcher to try to get as many pitches on the inside half as he can, just so he can turn on him and drive him.
Breaking ball, hammer on 2-1. It's 2-2. Well, that's a pretty pitch. He said, I grew up inspired by Andy Pettit. Learning and watching the video clips of him, that looked like a Pettit breaking ball. He said, now I watch Marcus Stroman, his swag, his competitiveness, and his confidence, but I learned a lot from Pettit. It's a piece of that changeup.
Well, what he's done so far with his breaking ball right now, he's thrown it anywhere between 76 and 83. He's got feel for the break. He's got feel for changing speeds with it. And the maturity and the confidence to do that as a 17-year-old really stands out.
Jones working as his battery mate behind home plate. Jared Jones is the catcher. Runner at third. Got him to swing over the top of a breaking ball. Jason Jones goes down on strikes.
And that was the power 83-mile-an-hour slider. And it has the depth, but look at the location. Jones didn't recognize that pitch at all. He was still swinging a pitch over the plate, and it was on his toes in no time.
And now Gavin Turley takes his opportunity. This is a man with tools that, you need a whole garage and maybe a workshop to put him in, as he rolls that one firm to the right side. Gobbled up, fired in time for the out. R.J. Austin with the play to end things. Berryera, talented stuff out of Hollywood, Florida. You know who his high school coach is at Sierra Canyon? You folks remember Jerry Royster, longtime Major League infielder? That's his high school coach, as that one is fouled off, and a big swing there. An opportunity, by the way, to get to know a new man with a bat in his hands. This is Jared Jones, who came on to catch. Jones goes to work now against Jaden Newt.
And Jones comes from that group of players we've been talking so much about in Georgia that have had so many repetitions, have played so much baseball by the time they're 17 years old. And last inning was catching, mentioned that 6'5", 235, and big right-handed power.
And he has been in the PG Tech cage, by the way. Visit perfectgame.org and learn more about PG Tech, the multi-layered partnership to help players develop and to grow athletically. And there's just a lot of good things going on with the man they call Bear, Jared Jones Bear, at East Cobb Yankees team. He's an LSU commit, Walton High School. As that one is in on his hands that time, popped up to the right side and put over there by Karsten Sabathia. Let's go inside that PG Tech cage and take a look at time to contact. Best energy transfer there, Hunter Pence. Arm to hand, 102-mile-an-hour exit velocity. In-depth research on your development as an athlete. Partnership with PG Tech. I know you love that kind of stuff, Hunter.
It's beautiful to get that angle and really see how quick are you getting to the ball and how long are you in the zone, because it's about creating time. Jones is 10 out of 10 as far as posture. He definitely is a bear, and he looks like a big leaguer already. He's probably bigger than most of them.
Yeah, that's a big fella.
It's a big fella.
Cole Young now. This is another fella that I like. This is a talented shortstop, a really good young man out of Pennsylvania, as Newt drops the hammer down and in. So Cole Young, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, North Allegheny High School. Plays for the Canes national team. You hear that a lot. He played for the Perfect Game Select Festival a couple of years back. Joanne and Rick are mom and dad. Blake is his older brother, who's 23. Cole Young hits it hard, leaving his feet over there. Sabathia fires it to Newt, covering the bag in time for the out. Really good play there.
Well, Karsten Sabathia, just not a big bat, but showing his mobility, making an accurate throw. And Newt, who is a big man, 6'5", 240, hustling over to first base.
This is a Rawlings Gold Glove defensive replay here.
That's a good swing right there off of that young man, and good swing, good play, diving, and to do the PFPs here without too much practice is pretty impressive. This is a really good timing play. Well done.
Well, we need to probably pay a little more attention to Jaden Newt. He's had thrown 5 pitches, got 2 outs already here in the 4th inning, but he's really shown us his whole toolbox so far. 94 fastball, had a 76 curveball, had an 83 slider. Last month at the PG National, he did not show that slider. He was just a curveball fastball guy, so he's working out his repertoire of pitches.
And he's a two-way guy too. I mean, this is a guy with big bat, has big power, can drive it out. He's dealing with Ryan Clifford now, who comes up empty. Clifford out of Raleigh, North Carolina, a Canes national team man. Amy and John are his parents, and he's a 2-time gold medalist in a USA Baseball uniform. 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year as well. Clifford chases that fastball from Newt. Jaden Newt, we hardly
change-up mix. He'll throw all 3 of the pitches, at different places in the count. Fastball's been up to 95. So again, just like a theme of developing here, it's very mature pitchers on the mound who can already throw secondary pitches for strikes, and it almost makes that 95 almost secondary to their whole package as a pitching prospect.
And the Kentucky commit and the son of Fred and Amanda. And this is Adonis Guzman. We watched him catch out of Valley Cottage, New York, Boston College commit. As he swings through that one, 1-1 the count, he said, I am excited to go to Boston College. I am in no way, shape, or form switching to the team that plays in the big leagues in Boston. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Yankee fan. That's my team. So I'll have fun in Boston.
The look he gave you when you asked him what his favorite team was, growing up in the Bronx 2 blocks away from Yankee Stadium, was priceless.
David, you're really selling me down the river with the way you explained it. Like my whole thought is, like, and Hunter deals with all these young people, whether you're streaming and gaming, Hunter, on Twitch, but I thought, everyone's so different these days. You can ask a kid in Atlanta, who's your favorite team, and he tells you the Dodgers, right? That happened with Tamar Johnson. Guzman was shocked that I even asked him.
I mean, it is pretty funny, and I know I got to play with Willie Calhoun, who was a diehard Giants fan. He was like asking me, what was it like to be a Giant when I was with the Rangers? And he was drafted by the Dodgers, and he was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And he's like, you just got to figure it out. Here we go. So, I mean, when you're a ball player, you'll play for any team, but I love the fandom as a young kid. So that's a great story.
He said growing up in the Bronx, and these are his words, folks, that he shared with us. He said we weren't always provided with the resources necessary to succeed, with quotes he put, whether that be equipment, facilities, trainers. Thankfully, my supportive parents did everything in their power. As he rolls that one foul, the final part of that thought, to get me where I need to be and help me continue to grow, not only as an athlete, but as a man. Those are the words of Adonis Guzman.
There's a lot of heroes behind the scenes of each one of these players, and it takes a village really to raise them and to get them to where they are. And some of them, grab life by the horns and do it all themselves, but a lot of the times there's a lot of help.
Dana rocks and fires with a breaking ball that skips in there. Jones doing everything he can to block that one up from behind the plate. Oldest brother Cullen is in high A when we talk about Dana. He is in high A with the Padres organization. .94 miles an hour, and it's up. And I always marvel at a patient hitter in an all-star game, because you want to hit, but I love that they're patient and he earns a walk.
Teams are starting to really value pitch discipline, and I know that that the Giants and the Dodgers, two of the top in baseball right now, are two of the best in the world at it, and so it's starting to get looked at a lot differently than it used to.
There's some big power in this frame. He is tied up that time. Dominic Hellman. We've showed you the parts of the ballpark that he has hit it into. He nearly knocked down the wall at PG National at the home of the Rays in Tropicana Field. That's the back wall of the building, as that one's high and inside. 2021 Herald Baseball Player of the Year, first team All-Wesco, first team All-Area. He has started all 3 years in high school as he heads into his senior year. David, this is a guy at this size that worked and worked. He worked so hard to go sub 760, and he did it.
And then he went out and ran a 6.69, for goodness sake. He just didn't break it. But yeah, I remember you talking to him and him saying, what are you working on your game? And he says, I need to get faster. I need to break 7 seconds. I need to break 7 seconds. And he was successful. He set a goal and he reached it.
Fastball at 94, dots the outside corner.
6'6" is booking. That's for a big man. That's the tally ho. Let's go. I want to ask Guzman and Jones. We saw Guzman do the little pudge action to first base, and we saw Jones 185 to second. Who wins the arm off here? Are they both top notch to top notch?
I think Guzman's going to win the arm action, or the arm strength. The fascination with Jones is just the combination of size and quickness that goes into his.
Let's take a peek at our Rawlings home run replay. We saw it earlier. It was Luke Heyman. He's headed to Florida. That ball was on the fast track to Florida. It was crushed. Danny Wexelman is down below with Luke Heyman. Guys, take it away down there.
Luke, you put your team on the board, 2-run home run. What pitch did you see, and how good did that feel?
It was 3-2, just sitting on a fastball, and luckily he threw one right over the plate that I could get a piece of, and it felt good, We're in Petco Park, a great stadium, and just being able to do what I did just felt amazing, and hopefully we can get our team and get a W. East squad on top.
We talk a lot about your skills behind the plate, but you've been working on your bat as well. What have you been doing to be able to do that at the plate tonight?
Just trying to be more on time. Kind of been late a little bit lately, and just trying to be more on time and not pull off balls and stay through them.
You said it was because of the mullet. Show us the mullet. Show everyone at home the mullet. Come on now. There it is. They got haircuts this week. It's mullet power, guys. How do you like that? Luke, thank you.
Thank you.
Darren.
Thank you, Danny. Those mullets, I got to be honest, folks, they're just awful, aren't they?
I couldn't disagree more.
I knew you would stand up
Mullets
for
have
them.
homers in them. It's a great mullet. Don't ever change.
Oh, I knew Hunter would absolutely put the shield up for the guys. That's why I said it. That's over the inside corner.
Trying to set me up.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'd probably throw you a pitch just to have you rock it at foul, but I set you up there, and I knew you'd do it. This is Shuby, Hunter's friend Shuby, Nolan Schubart out of Durand, Michigan. He's a Michigan commit. Went to Junior National, did great things. Select Festival, did great things. 15U Team USA guy. A mile high, but it's into the seats.
And Dana's got a nice rhythm with that over-the-top breaking ball. We've seen a lot of sliders so far, and this is one of the first real true over-the-top 12-6 type breaking balls. And he's gotten a good rhythm so far. I'm curious whether he's going to throw it to a left-handed hitter with 2 strikes on him.
You know, Darren, I would love to see a guy hit a homer off a curveball and be like, yeah, I was really looking for a curveball, and just wow, and he takes a good swing at it right there. They're always looking for, who's looking for a curveball in this tournament?
Well, that's such a great point by you. Dana working, dealing with Schubart. Dana loves watching Jacob deGrom. Said I study him, I learn from him, I love his calm. I love how he always believes he's going to get the batter out. He said, by the way, Kaden Dana, who's from Montgomery, New York, folks, David, his favorite MLB team is the Red Sox. Thank you, Kaden, for kind of making me feel better about myself. Falls off there, breaking ball into the dirt. Schubart runs the count to 2-2. Guys, it is a hammer, David. You said it. And I love seeing a young pitcher throw the classic 12-6 curveball. You just don't see it a lot. Not an easy pitch to throw.
Or to command. I think a lot of times you see pitchers learn the slider. It's a perfect throw down. We see you, Jared Jones. We see you.
He threw out one of his mates, Guzman, the catcher. All business. He went fastball. Jones gunned it down. Jared Jones. Ray DeLeon runs that program. Oklahoma State is his commit. Chase Shores.
Well, Chase Shores, I talked to him about the top of the show, how much he has improved. And what impressed me when he was back, 50 pounds ago and throwing 80, 83 was the athleticism with his size. He's kept that athleticism while adding a lot of strength. You're also going to see a little lower arm action that Hunter would make it real uncomfortable, I think, for a right-handed hitter to step in there against a young man who's going to probably be throwing mid-90s.
It's not often you get a 6'8" guy and you're like, hey, I'm going to go a little 3/4 action here. You want to get all of that leverage, all of that on top. But, according to you, it seems like he grew, 2 feet tall and 50 pounds in a month and a half. We got a whole new body to work with.
Yeah, but then that's what it makes the athleticism and the quality of ability to repeat his delivery stand out to me. Because he's probably still going to get stronger. He's still 17 years old.
Riley Stanford is his foe. Stanford out of Gainesville, Georgia. We shared with you a Georgia Bomber travel team guy. John Magliozzi runs that program. Chase Shores. Breaking ball. Ground ball to the right side. Gobbled up and throw a little bit off the mark as it sails. Runner caught up in a bit of a rundown. Tag is applied by Mikey Romero. If he got him, yes, he did. Mikey got him. Initially a minor miscue, but things pulled back together for that West squad very nicely out there.
Well, we're digging. We got an error, and you gotta be aware the backup of the catcher right here is what's really good, and hustling all the way and cleans it up.
Looks like he's hearing about it from his teammates right now. Like, Riley, what were you thinking?
On the ground. Another opportunity and a fine play that time. That one gobbled up and fired in time for the out. Gillen got that chance he wanted and takes advantage of it.
And we've got another quick inning going. 4 pitches total, 2 outs. As Shore's just throwing nice quality low strikes in the zone and getting ground balls. Makes it look pretty easy.
Well, David, when you talk about a guy and talk about a pitcher that's good, a lot of times it's going to be quick if they only get 1/2 inning. So that's a good start. Two up, 2 down. Can't get much better.
That was Cam Collier, the reclassification Cam Collier, who's oh so very talented. There you go. What an inning. Hilton hits it right back to the big fella, Chase Shores. 1, 2, 3. Chase, we hardly got to know you. He's headed to Oklahoma State. He's 6'8". By David's predictions, he'll be 7'2", but still a 16-year-old.
Still 16 years old and 6'3", 205 pounds. So he's strong, he's young. You don't really know what that body's going to look like in another 3 or 4 years, or maybe in his mid-20s when he's established himself, hopefully in the big leagues.
This is a little bit more about what he has done, Hunter. Passaic Tech High School, a Miami commit. And you can see exit velo and fastball velo both there.
Yeah, the ball's coming out of his hand kind of nasty, and as a right-handed hitter, you got your work cut out for you, but you're going to want to make sure he throws strikes.
And let's watch that, what Hunter's talking about. And he does fire a strike. That first pitch right out of the gates at 95 miles an hour. This is Gavin Keelan. And Gavin, Milton High School, obviously got a lot of at-bats in the Iowa Spring League put on by Perfect Game. There's your 97.
It's coming in hot.
Having an outstanding student, really pure hitter. Is that one? 99 miles an hour, 99 off the fingertips.
Kind of running arm side right-hander. We're glad we got a lefty up right here, but that is coming.
Again, 99 miles an hour. Folks, this is a shortstop who pitches as well.
Not even, did you say he's 16 years old?
Still 16.
This is an electric athlete, and this is impressive to watch right now.
Again, 99 goes in and out of the catcher's mitt. Jared Jones is back there still working. Brady Neal will do some catching here in just a little bit behind him.
I get the sense just from the body language. We saw these other pitchers who are full-time pitchers. This might be a time for a changeup or a breaking ball. I think we're just going to see cheese here from Naz.
He shook off a breaking ball, David. And the fastball is high. Again at 99. That's ball 4.
Yeah, not quite as polished right now with the command. It looks like he's just throwing it as hard as he can. Hopefully he can get, maybe it's a feel thing, it's a timing thing. But good at bat right there, and the West team's got a leadoff batter on.
Quick visit to calm him down. You saw R.J. Austin come in and have a quick conversation. Here's Mikey Romero, the first of the Perfect Game All-Americans to be named because he's a local product. At 98 on the ground. There's one on to first, not in time. But he got it down off the end of the bat. As Hunter said, it's not only a pitch that has great velo to it, but it has movement late life.
And here he goes. He gets a pitcher's best friend. First pitch swinging, bounce it right back to him. And you see the shortstops, the smooth hands. And a lot of times you worry about a pitcher making that throw, and he made it look easy.
Here's Kaden Martin. Talented football player. There's a slider, and a balk is called. Runner moves up.
And the West is still looking for one of those things that's not a walk or anything to get a runner on base that you knocked on wood, not a superstitious fella.
I'll respect your request at this point.
I just wanted to see if the bait.
Not for much longer. Not for much longer, Hunter Pence.
Did you notice?
I was told. A little birdie in my ear told me about it.
And you've been playing it off. Interesting.
I was told about it. I'm respecting my analyst right now. Both my analysts who are very much jinx people, so I'll respect them. Well done by you, though. You're showing as an announcer, 99, by the way, that you can tell the story without saying the words, according to Hunter Pence.
Yeah, I don't have a birdie in my ear, but I've noticed we're deep in the game right now. We're in 6th. I haven't. No one said a word.
Kaden Martin rolls that one foul again. The upper 90s. This is something, David. I mean, we want to talk about everybody involved in this game, but we have not seen in this event a pitcher just sit at 99.
Yeah, that's the difference here. Sometimes we'll say he topped out at 99, he pitched in the mid-90s. No, Naz is sitting at 99 miles an hour. Makes you wonder if he might have another tick there, which has never happened in an All-American Classic.
Slider kicks away. It's tough to deal with. Everything is firm. And you made a great point, David, that in an all-star game, which is this, it's tough to deal with pitches that you don't know what they're going to do. Mikey moves up to third base. Mikey Romero, that is. Kaden Martin has played football on national TV. He's now playing baseball on national TV. Remember T. Martin, great football player, national championship, playing in the NFL as well. Looked like he got a commitment there on a pitch that dove down and away.
Yeah, to me, looking at Kaden Martin, knowing that he's a high-level quarterback, that is an unlikely quarterback's body, though. He's got such strength in his hips, such strength in his thighs. You know, that's where he gets his baseball power from. But so athletic, and he can run and has that strength.
Hustling to the bag, and they were 100% set at getting to 100, and he just got there. That pitch was rolled out to the right side, 100 miles an hour. The play made on the first base side over there. And trotting to the bag. Big Ryan Clifford. Here's 100.
There's 100. He gets the job done here, though. Is you got to get that ball in play, get a run across the board. So they've scored a run without scoring one of those other things in that column. But we'll take, the West Coast will take a run, get a little tighter ball game, and now he's going to face his first right-handed batter.
That one, ouch, bounces in there. He does face the righty. Let's introduce you to Ross Highfield. He's out of Madison, Mississippi. He'll play in the outfield as a backup, but he will catch. East Coast Sox, his travel team. Ross is a Mississippi State commit. Tina and Mike are his parents. Ashley and Lindsay are his sisters, along with Brooke. Ross rolls that one to the left side. Cutting on across, fielding and firing. Collier with the play there. And in time for the out. We'll tell you a little bit more as this game goes along about Ross Highfield. We will tell you that man touched 100 miles an hour. This Ian Ritchie Jr. out of Bainbridge Island, Washington. Jeff Brown is his high school coach. He plays for that Canes national team and also the Sweets travel team. Eric Hollerback runs that squad. This is a UCLA commit. He is the son of Ian and Tori and the big brother of Dallas. And this is a guy, David, with a wipeout slider, but just, to me, a ton of command and poise. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and the interesting part about that slider, which is his best pitch now, we saw him at the underclass All-American games 2 years ago, and he didn't even have a breaking ball. He was almost strictly fastball changeup, so it's been gone from a slider being a non-factor to being his best pitch. It's a nasty slider, one of the top in the class. But this young man also, 92, 94, maybe touching 95 at PG National. But during the spring, we heard reports out of Washington that he was pretty steady, mid to upper 90s the whole spring. So I'm not really sure what we're going to see here in terms of velocity.
Brady Neal is his foe, a young man who's at the IMG Academy. Tallahassee, Florida is his home. He's an LSU commit. Jay Johnson will be his coach at LSU. PG Select Festival member as well for Brady Neal. And the first pitch, he cranks one up with the changeup for strike one.
Hello, perfect game, All-American Classic. Check out my 82 changeup. Love it.
His third best pitch.
Fastball buried it in, touched 93 miles an hour. For Neal at home, Corey is his dad, Kathy is his mom. And his brother Carson plays baseball at Valdosta currently. This is a man on the mound who is driven as he drops that slider somewhere.
Wait. Okay.
Good pitch. Good pitch. He'll do it again. He'll do it again.
I love the fact that he opened with the changeup and he's going to UCLA, the land where changeups are made to flourish.
Fastball, and he was ready for it. Brady Neal with a base hit.
Takes advantage right here, gets himself another pitch, and drives the ball right up the middle. Nice and easy. That was a good pitch. That was right on the corner and finds a hole. Nice short swing right there, too. It's a good approach.
And Darren, I was surprised when you said Naz Muley was the youngest player in the class. I thought it was Brady Neal, who just reclassified as Cam Collier did. But Brady Neal, also a 16-year-old.
Eli Serrano, number 16 on that East jersey, goes to work. As we get to know Eli, he's at a Fuquay Varina in North Carolina. Pro 5 Baseball Academy is where he goes to school. NC State commit. And Eli did good things at the National. He ran a 6.7 through 91 from the outfield. He's come a long way, baby, from back in October of 2017. He was playing in a PG Super 25 event. 6 feet tall back then, 130 pounds. An event in Virginia. He was all tournament in one of his first PG events. Sammy Serrano is his dad, who played at Stetson, played in the Giants organization, Hunter, for about 4 years. And his mom played Division I basketball. Mom Cheryl at Stetson as well.
Well, Serrano didn't make this All-American team. Yes, you said he had a good national, and he definitely did. He made the All-American team really the week before when he was the MVP of the WWBA 17 Under Championships, one of our most talented and prestigious events. Hit .419 with 4 homers and 12 RBIs. All 4 of those home runs coming in the playoffs.
Gosh, he had 4 homers. Sorry, Hunter. He had 4 homers in that national tournament?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All in the playoffs against good pitching.
Look at the life on that fastball. Literally had to be played on a backhand there. Ross Highfield's the catcher.
And he swung at it. He looks really comfortable with the bat in his hands. There's a lot of Christian Yelich when Yelich is really healthy and lined up. Very similar. It's a beautiful swing.
That's a good move. Ian spends a lot of time and devotion in the car, as you see the quick move here over to Ike Irish, who is at first. But Ian goes down to Portland and works with Kevin Gunderson, an outstanding pitching coach. But he's driving from Washington down to Portland. Parents make a lot of sacrifices. He's worth the time. Gets down there once a week if he can, working with a great pitching guru, Kevin Gunderson. So there's Highfield doing the work behind the plate. Ross Highfield.
Highfield's having a great at-bat here as a catcher. He caught that ball, backhand come, that fastball, 94 fastball that had serious dive to it and handled it cleanly and saved a base for his pitcher with that block of the low breaking ball.
He's a Mississippi man out of Madison. Way out front on a changeup. This is not an easy play. All you could do to make that play. Charging, fielding, and firing Gavin Guidry out of Louisiana. So that's an infield hit.
And one of those plays, if you don't get your exchange perfect, and Guidry wasn't perfect with it, you really have no chance.
Well, Gavin Guidry, a great story. The Nick Adenhart Award winner last night. Lost 35 pounds with a pretty serious injury and illness last year. I mean, really serious. And also the devastation in Lake Charles, Louisiana. 2-time storms ravaging through his hometown. And he just got up and went to work. I mean, helped businesses open, helped clean community folks. His home was spared. But he's a great story. Here's R.J. Austin. This is another great story and a great young man. This PG All-American. Chases a fastball, a lively fastball. RJ out of Atlanta. East Cobb Astros, his travel team. He's a Vanderbilt commit. Kianya and Reggie are his parents. Dad, of course, an NFL quarterback. Really good one. Offensive coordinator right now and a head baseball coach at the high school level. And RJ, I think you'd call him a regular. If there was a punch card, he'd have it pretty full. You've seen him a lot.
Oh, yes. He loves to play baseball. You know, his father was a football guy, but he 2 brothers that played. One of his brothers a perfect game All-American, and just somebody who loves the game. And we've talked about Tamar Johnson and his leadership and his personality. Well, I see Austin in the same way, because he's always around his teammates. He's always talking. He's always propping up, you know, his teammates and everybody here. Just a great personality on the young man.
Broke his bat, popped up. Right side. The play is made. Again, the slider is good. The changeup is good. But that fastball has that kind of life to do that to a bat.
Yeah, he definitely wins that battle right there. He hasn't, you know, he's had a little bit. He had a tough call first batter, and he had a you know, killing the worms single, and then breaks a bat here, see if he can get out of this jam. Reminds me a lot, Richie, of Joe Kelly with the Dodgers. Just a similar presence, stance, haircut. The glasses maybe is what does it. Can you see that, David?
Yeah, the personality is part of it.
This is one of the fastest men in the United States, and I don't think I'm stretching it when I say Michael Gupton, who's out of Raleigh, North Carolina, fits that bill as he takes the breaking ball for strike one. David, you're a scout. Please remind us what he ran the 60 in at the National.
He ran the 60. The previous record at the PG National was 6.11. He twice ran a 5.96. It's different. And you were exactly correct. He ranks very high nationally in track events in his age group.
0-2 the count on Gupton. Hunter, here it is.
Oh my gosh. He is absolutely burning. Is that Tyreek Hill or what? Wait.
He is a track star, to say the least. North Carolina State commit. Real quality young man, too, is that slider. That's a good take. Joyce and Van are his parents. Naomi, his older sis, and Van Jr., his older brother. He's a good student, a 4.0 in the classroom, but he's one of the fastest men in the United States.
I've never heard of a 5.960 from a baseball player, so I'm hoping he puts something in play. I want to see this. We got the stopwatch out,
yes,
David. Let's go.
Yes, we have the stopwatch out.
East Cobb Astros, Gupton's travel team's got a couple of runners out there. Fastball outside corner, not this time. We won't see him run. Beautiful riding pitch. Little comebacker dots the outside corner. Gupton goes down on strikes.
And again, Highfield doing a really nice job presenting that ball to the umpire. Gets down low, gets below it.
Everything moving, everything moving. Tucker Toeman, Columbia, South Carolina, Hammond School. FDB Phillies scout team. He is an LSU commit. He was at the 14U Perfect Game Select Festival. Ashley and Jim are his parents. Dad played at NC State for 4 years. Changeup, it's a good one, but it misses outside.
Father Jim has been a high-level college coach for at least 3 decades. I met him 3 decades ago. He was at South Carolina, was the head coach at Liberty for a long time, now at Middle Tennessee State.
Let's get it to Danny Wexelman. She's got a quick thought on Ian Ritchie Jr. Danny?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with him, Darren, yesterday and learning a little bit about him. If you check out his wrist, he's wearing a camo wristband on his right arm. It was his grandma Momo's hair band. She passed away, but she was the one who went to all of his sporting events growing up, traveled as long as she could with him, and told me how impactful she's been on him. And also, guys, you'll notice he goes by JR, he told me, also, by the way, but he'll walk around the mound. He said he's angry on the mound. He talks to himself, and he wanted to be here. He didn't make it at the 14U Select Festival. He saw Corbin Carroll, Washington native, perfect game MVP. He saw him in this event. He said, I got to be here too.
Good stuff, Danny. Really good stuff. Great insightful stories that you've shared with us. He's got great family ties. He talked about him honoring his grandmother, Danny did. He deals with Tucker Toeman, breaking ball, ground ball. A couple of steps over to his right. In time for the out. That play made quite easy out there on the west side. Ian Ritchie Jr., good stuff.
Darren, back to you.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Thank you, Danny. We're getting to know some unique players. Those guys, veterans and great insightful players. First of all, this is Mari Boyd with a bat in his hands out of Batesville, Mississippi, out of South Panola High School. He's an uncommitted athlete, a high-level talented athlete who plays for Ed Easley, the EBC travel team. And Lo Saintche is on the mound. Low, as that one is rolled to the right side, induces the ground ball in time for the out. The play is made out there. So Low is a unique story, David. He's originally from Curacao. He resides in Pembroke Pines, Florida. But this is a pitcher, David, that effectively throws with both hands.
Effectively, yes. You just saw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, a couple of them to the first hitter that he threw right-handed. Now Saintche coming up to face the left-handed hitting Jackson Holiday is going to be throwing left-handed. Let's see what he brings to the plate from the other side.
Lo Saint-Che drops a breaking ball that's just a little bit high. We've seen Jackson Holiday several times. And Holiday takes up and in. Lowe, a great story, certainly. He was at the Little League World Series as a shortstop in 2016. He has been showing who he is as a both-handed pitcher. Jurina is his mom. Ando is his dad. Jackson with a big cut, and he fouls it off. When you asked Saint-Che about baseball, he says, my grandfather and dad played baseball. My grandfather, really well-known left-handed pitcher in Curacao. Dad, a great catcher. Played in the Netherlands professionally. Mom played softball at a high level as well. He's a classy kid, too. Breaking ball, and it's a ground ball. Charging on in to make the play that time at second base is Austin, the Vanderbilt commit. 2 outs.
Well, I think the closest thing we've ever had in an All-American Classic to Saint-Che and his two-handed ability, you remember Carlos Cortez?
Yes.
Who played second base right-handed and played outfield left-handed. And had to know what position. You know, he would bring the right-handed mitt, left-handed mitt, but he was completely, you know, ambidextrous with his throwing. He didn't pitch, but fundamentally, I mean, have you ever heard of that before? Throwing right-handed from one position, left-handed from the other?
Never heard of that before. I've seen one other both-handed pitcher, and he was in the big leagues for a little bit with the Giants, actually.
Well, Pat Venditti.
Yeah, Venditti. Yeah, that's who it was. I faced him one time in a spring training game. That was interesting. A lot of sliders, side army from both sides. But we haven't seen 95 from a both-handed pitcher.
Yeah, and that's what really separates Saint-Che is the fact that he can come out and throw mid-90s right-handed. If he was only a right-handed pitcher, you know, he belongs in this game just at that. But the talent that he shows from the left side, I mean, 88 with a big sweep and breaking ball, that's somebody who can pitch left-handed at the next level.
It was 94 just off to the plate to the talented Jason Jones. We've seen Jones a couple of times, and this is a high-energy, great-spirited young man. Fastball, that one hits the corner, and the count 2-1. Jones says, and I quote, "My mom inspires me as a person, a student, and an athlete. She pushes and encourages me to be the best me," he put with quotes around it. "She challenges me and she works really hard. My work ethic comes directly from her." So my dad has been a great influence athletically. Swing and a miss. Lo Saint-Che, a great story. Young man out of Curacao. Left-handed and right-handed, right? I mean, here is left-handed. Buries the fastball in. Here is right-handed, mid-90s. Only at the Perfect Game All-American Classic.
It started with a simple idea to break with the game.
Fell short just a little bit to LSU, but I am sure he's going to have great coaching out there in Oregon for sure. The Ducks.
And with Jackson Cox, we're going to see a very, very live arm. Was up to 96 at the PG National, but what he really did at Tropicana Field was spin the ball. Threw some breaking balls, 3,200, 3,100 RPMs, and it passed the eye test along with the TrackMan test. But he's going to bring the heat, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the spin.
Well, Bear just unloaded he's swinging a miss round one, but he let him know that if he connects, it's going far.
Hands out front. Nicely, Jared Jones with a base hit into left field. And it's one thing to have the body leak a little bit, but when the hands stay back, they pay dividends. Bear with a base hit out of Marietta, Georgia.
Well, when we saw the PG Tech earlier, they talked about the energy transfer from his arms to his hands. That tells me that his hands are such an important part of his swing, and you saw how well he used them there to hit that breaking ball.
And that's what we talk about with creating time. Like if you watched his barrel plane there, it went through the zone for a long time. They kept going forward, just like off the tee.
Dealing with Cole Young. We spoke about Cole earlier. Enjoyed getting to know him a lot better at the Perfect Game National Showcase. A Pittsburgh, PA young man. Team made it to the state finals. They were just glad to be back playing in the Pennsylvania State Finals, having a season again this year. Brother Blake, he names as one of his great inspirations, does Mr. Young. Very serious, very focused in there. Look at that. Shh, it's like a library in there.
The bat looks really comfortable in Young's hands. He got robbed his first at bat, but man, it just everything looks like completely aligned and connected when he swings.
And this is very much a two-way prospect. You know, we've been talking about his hitting, he has the performance to back that up, but this is the one shortstop that the Perfect Game scouting staff thinks has the best chance to stay at shortstop if he were to reach the big leagues.
That's a heck of a pitch, right in on the knuckles. Cox put it exactly where he wanted to. Just a little bit of late two-seam run to it. Mr. Cox is the son of Julian Tugg and the big brother to Connor. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He said, my changeup is the one that I'm working on the most. And baseball somehow appear magically. 2-2 the count. We're glad you're hanging out with us tonight. This is all sorts of fun. As that one jumps up and away, 3-2 the count. We're talking about Bobby Freeland. There he is.
How do you say that city in Washington? Tootle?
Tootle.
Tootle.
Tootle. Want to remind everyone, those of you that are in Tootle and wherever you are on MLB Network's Monday and Tuesday night baseball. Big bats from the NYC take on the big man of the ATL, Yankees and Braves. Then they go at it again the very next night on MLB Network's Monday and Tuesday night baseball, live at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock out in Tootle.
I will tell you, because I looked it up, Tootle is probably the smallest hometown of any of the 60 players.
They're watching.
Yes.
They're watching their young prodigy here, Big Cox, throwing some good fastballs. Got nobody out. Runners on first and second, huh?
The Tootle, very rural area, right in the shadow of Mount St. Helens, actually, down the southern part of Washington.
Well done, David. That's well done right there. He brought something pretty big league. He's got a drive to do a lot of stuff. He actually drives 70 miles each way to one of his training facilities. A snap throw. That one skips not too far away. As we talked about the great collection of catchers with Moore, Guzman, Irish, and Highfill on the other side for Gonzo's team. If you're just joining us, it's that Gonzo. World Series hero Luis Gonzalez. Son Jacob played in this game a couple of years ago. Tripled in this game, David. Plays in the Giants organization now, Gonzo's son does. Ryan Clifford fouls a two-seamer back to the screen. When you ask Cox about who guides him, who he loves to watch, it's Max Scherzer. And Gonzo loving to see the man out on the mound. He'd love to see his team put a notch in one of those columns that Hunter was talking about.
They can't do it while they're on defense, so
I know they can.
Maybe a goose
I understand
egg.
that.
But a fascinating thing for me, and every time I know Luis Gonzalez hit so many homers and won the World Series, but I always thought it was crazy that someone bottled up his gum and sold it for like some ridiculous amount of money. And I can only think about the bubble gum after you hit a walk-off homer or a walk-off single to beat the Yankees.
That's right. That's a good mention by you. I had forgotten about that. His gum became very, very famous.
Did it go up in value now, or is it down in value from its original price?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in on that lately.
I think I'm going to forget this immediately after we get done talking about it. Bubble gum.
You didn't hear that?
No, I didn't.
So he had gum in his mouth when he hits the walk-off to finally beat the Yankees, and I think it was 2001-ish?
Yes.
And the Diamondbacks win the World Series, and he jumps up and he does the whole thing, and bubble gum comes flying out of his mouth, and someone bottles it up and sells it for like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, jeez.
Roman Anthony down at the bottom of that bat as he goes to work out of Stoneman Douglas in Florida, takes just off the plate. He lists Steven Cardullo as someone who inspires him, and here's why. He walked on at Florida State and became an All-American. Drafted in the later rounds, made it to the MLB with the Rockies. He said, he inspires me because he's a guy who refused to never give up, and look at him living his dream. Those are the words of Roman Anthony out of Parkland, Florida, the Ole Miss commit.
It's fun to see some of these kids get into a jam like this and see how they respond. And dialing it back in is Cox right here, making some good pitches. Another good one right there.
Yeah, he put himself in with those 2 strikes on fastballs. Put him himself in a position to go back to the pitch I think he really wants to throw now, and that's that high spin rate slider.
A quick pitch to bouncing ball, steps on it, comes home with it. Nice play made at home plate, dugout. Oh, but he's just got underneath the tag, just snuck in there. What a heck of a play by Ike Irish to make that play on a hop. Sabathia turned and fired it home. Well, Gonzo's going to come out. But conversation.
Well, he makes the play right here, makes a good throw. Incredible catch and a great tag. They're calling for the headphones. Gonzo can't believe it. He's coming out. We're arguing in an all-star game. Never seen it before. Letting him have it. The umpire's getting booed. And you saw Jones. He was kind of smiling over there like, I guess I'm safe. Yeah, I made
it. Gonzo's going to go. And
there's something you don't see in an all-star game very often either, the visit to the mound by the manager.
I think he's going to make a move, Gonzo is. He's a showman, too. I mean, I love it. Gonzo, a little bit of a showman on this one. He's going to make the move.
I love it. They're competing out there.
Jackson Cox, what a bright future he has ahead of him. The young man who is headed to Oregon. Had a great defensive play behind him, and a nice dig at the plate, and a nice tag, by the way, made by Ike Irish. Cox heads toward the dugout. Look forward to seeing as his future unfolds. Jackson Cox. You know, we talked about the man who is about to hit earlier, Termarr, and who he is and how talented he is, Termarr Johnson. Well, earlier when he won the Home Run Derby championship, they're bringing the camera out to take a look at it. Now, wait a minute. You can't really do that. That's not really fair. This is great stuff. Hunter, I know you previewed this with us before the game. I'll let you talk about what you saw as he won the title.
Well, the story that I heard is that he had to hit a homer in his last 2 pitches, and he does that, and then he walks it off with a 3rd home run in a row with a little bit of flair. And this is earlier this morning. We're talking about 5'8", 5'9", winning the Home Run Derby, and these are some big boys. So he's definitely got the power, he's got the swing, and he's a hitter.
He went inside of the PG Tech cage recently, and David, I know you're going to help us with this because there's a lot to like about the numbers, the advanced numbers, and that kinetic chain. The arm to hand, his best energy transfer, 91-mile-an-hour exit velocity, but that kinetic chain, David, ground all the way up. What did you see in that?
Well, with Termarr, you see how he's built. He's built low to the ground. He's got that strength in his thighs and his hips. And you know, we know that the ideal swing starts low and works up. We see a lot of hitters now who have that top-down swing, but a hitter like Termarr Johnson at that size isn't getting his power from a rotational upper body swing. He's driving it with his hips, using those big muscles of your core to drive your bat speed. And that's where you see the big power from the small package.
Hey, by the way, this is a man with all kinds of power. This is a man that is an elite football player, too. He's a left-handed pitcher and an outfielder, Robbie Snelling. He's out of Reno, Nevada. His dad is Jim, great coach. Mom is Lacey. Dad played football at Nevada. Uncle played at Boise State, Tennessee Titans. But this is a guy, David, this is another guy. He's great in the classroom, 4.2 GPA. They can basically pick a sport. I mean, he's that kind of a talented player. He can lay a tackle on you in the backfield, too.
Yeah, and he was committed to a long time to Stanford to play both ways. And what he said when he decommitted from Stanford was, I can play football at Stanford, I can play baseball at Stanford, I can do Stanford level academics, but I can't do all three at the same time because they all require so much hard work. There just isn't the time of the day really to do it. There's the desire to do it, but there just isn't the time.
Doesn't look like they have baseball uniforms big enough for him. He definitely still has his football pads on. This guy is jacked.
Yeah, and that's different, you know, especially a pitcher. When we see two-way players, we're looking at running backs, we're looking at quarterbacks, you know, we're looking at defensive backs. Robbie Snelling, that's a legit linebacker body.
And that one kicks away a run, comes on down and scores this time. As that one kicked free, and that allowed an opportunity for Cole Young to come on down and score, the Pennsylvania native. Just handcuffed him.
Yeah, that's a matter of the catcher not having ever caught Snelling before, because that pitch is lively. It's 93 miles an hour. It's getting on him fast.
Luis Gonzalez pulls his infield in.
It's definitely one of the toughest things, though, catching all of these guys you've never caught before. You have no idea how it's coming out, because those aren't really in the dirt.
Oh, baby, what a breaking ball. That had some depth and side-to-side movement.
Yeah, Snelling's been up to 97. He isn't consistent up in that range, more a 91, 94 guy. But the breaking ball is his best pitcher. It has been in the past, and we see another one there.
Charging, fielding, turning around and making the play. And that one skips a little bit further away than they wanted to. That's hard to take that momentum and turn and fire a strike that time. That's a tough play to make that time for Jason Jones.
You get to see it again, and Jones going full speed to home plate to turn across your body and throw basically backwards. Very hard skill, and Jones a career shortstop. He probably hasn't had to really make that play before.
Going an RBI that time. Here's Sal Stewart again. Young man out of Miami, Westminster Christian. Field backs up again, and we get to watch this talented football player play as a baseball player, and it's fouled off.
Stewart had one of the most impressive swings I saw in the last 3 days. My thing, I love watching batting practice, and so every chance we get to watch these guys take batting practice. We were at USD on Friday. They've been on planes today. They're just getting loose and everything. He puts the ball 2/3 up the way, up the hitter's eye at USD, which is a poke, believe me. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't know Sal Stewart had that kind of power, because he did it easy with a casual batting practice swing.
Five-star national, his travel team. Coach Wright, his travel coach, as Sal takes a fastball, 92, just off the plate.
Something pretty impressive is he stepped in during the MLB home run derby. They had it in between. I'm not sure if it was on television, but him and Sal Stewart and Jared Jones were hitting absolute tanks. Not quite as consistent as the big leaguers, but they had big league pop, and it was awesome to watch. So, yeah, I've seen that power, and he has a great approach here. All these at-bats are quality at-bats, every approach to these pitches.
He's a pro amateur player. I mean, that's the most respectful way I know to put it. He's been playing at these events for a long time. Maybe he was one of the first 14U Select Festival athletes. He's good in the classroom. He takes care of all the other stuff he's supposed to. He said, "It's the most incredible experience, Hunter, I've ever had in front of 49,000 people." As that one sails up and away. As a matter of fact, here's his exact words. "This summer I was fortunate enough to play in the Colorado All-Star Game as well as the Derby. Incredible experience. I was able to be around great players, best in the game, as well as hit in front of 49,000 fans. You know what that's like."
Well, I got to watch him do it. It was pretty spectacular. The home run derby is a different show altogether.
I remember when Bobby Witt, who's one of the top prospects in the game now, perfect game All-American, of course, a few years ago, and that's when we had the event in Washington. They had the home run contest in Washington. And Darren and I talked to him after that and asked him what it was like. And he said, I'm serious. I was scared to death. I'm hitting in front of 50,000 people. And that's the son of a big leaguer who played more baseball than anybody in the class. And he was like, wow, that was scary.
No matter who you are, that's intense, and it's what a special opportunity for a high school kid and a high school athlete.
Got him to chase a fastball up and away. Snelling turns that one loose at 92 miles an hour with late jump. Good four-seam jump at the plate.
Here he is. That's tough to lay off of when lefties can really hit that high part at the top of the zone, and just blows it by him. And he's not happy he chased that one, but it looks good at the eye level. It's a good pitch.
And a reason why, with the increased use of analytics and in this great game, that high spin rate fastball that stays up in the zone.
Yeah, the elevate. And something that's cool to watch with Snelling right here is watch how he dips. So he does his windup, and he gets kind of low, and then he lets it ride. So the high fastball is going to be even more deceptive than usual. It's kind of like the little Kershaw dip. See how he's throwing from kind of low.
I like it. The Kershaw dip.
Yeah, Kershaw has a hitch if you ever watch him pitch. See how he gets kind of low and then he's like releasing it. It's almost like that ball's going up, so it's deceptive on where it actually is. That's the spin rate, the spin rate and the elevate. Dip and drive.
He fires a fastball in there with that Kershaw dip. Love it, Pence. Hunter Pence, by the way, is the man you're listening to. David Ronsley as well. My name is Darren Sutton. And Danny Wexelman is down inside the dugouts at the Perfect Game All-American Classic. Buried a fastball in.
There's not a lot of comfortable swings on Robbie Snelling's fastball here. There must be some deception for the hitter. It's getting on him. The ball's lively. And none of them are down the middle of the plate. They're all on edges.
I mean, Irish is having trouble catching it, so it's obviously it's coming out kind of nasty. You got the one little chopper that kind of squeaked through. Maybe it was a hit because it's just placed right, but no one's getting really good swings off on him just yet.
Yeah, and Irish has caught serious velocity. He's Brock Porter's high school catcher back in Michigan, and Porter, upper 90s.
He lets that one travel and drives it deep to left field toward the wall. It goes into the corner. That one rolls around, and into second he goes. Tamar comes on down. He will score. Into the corner that baseball went, and it's a double. It is a double. Come out and make that call as it disappeared.
Well, we spoke too soon. We get a curveball over the plate, and he makes a real nice swing on this. Drives it over here and right down the line. Beautiful lefty on lefty too, and gets the ground rule double to bounce over the wall.
Yeah, that's a 16-year-old left-handed hitter hitting a quality.
That was painted.
Yeah, that was not a hanging curveball.
That kid can hit right there, young Neal. What a swing.
Serrano takes a fastball over the inside corner for a strike. The NC State commit roams around that outfield, standing 6 feet 6 inches tall as he takes one just off the plate and in. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. They were talking about it earlier. Visit perfectgame.org. Check out an athlete that you see tonight and understand that PG Tech cage and the way you can evaluate your game. True brand new heights of development. You take part in a PG event yourself, a showcase, that's going to be part of your development, part of your profile, the 1-2.
And we just rolled out the PG Tech cage and the K-Vest and everything at the beginning of this year, as you said, at showcases, and I've spent almost every weekend at a showcase, and it has been so smooth, the rollout of this technology. The PG Tech people are doing such a great job. It's an invaluable part with what's going on in baseball today of hitters learning what they're doing at the plate, learning their own swings.
Three and 2 the count. Fastball, he lost it. Hey, by the way, don't forget the MLB Ballpark app. It completes your next visit to the ballpark. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Now, download the Ballpark app today. Gonzo's coming out to talk with Snelling. Last time I went to a game, Dodgers-Angels, Dodger Stadium, not too long ago. Had some great tickets. They were on my phone in the Ballpark app. I knew where to go get a Dodger dog. I knew where to go get the great sundae and the helmet, all because of the Ballpark app. I'm just saying. I was sitting up in the booth first part of the year calling games. I didn't get to use the ballpark app. I've now used it. It's really cool.
I'm going to take your word for it.
You ever have a Sunday and a helmet?
When I was a kid, that was like my favorite thing. I collected the helmet, kept it for forever. Sunday and a helmet's a good one.
Yeah.
I haven't had much ballpark food. I heard it's been upgraded a lot since I was a kid.
Oh, it's big league, yes. Since you were a kid, for sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a dog and a beer, ever.
I always like the cookies with the ice cream in the middle, too. I don't know if I can eat them as much anymore, but when I was a kid.
I like that.
What are the go-tos now, Darren?
Well, it's still a hot dog. I mean, it's still a hot dog, but the pretzel is now mammoth. It's as big as your glove.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, absolutely it is. Yeah, 100% it is. Hey, by the way, if you're just catching those kind of insights, here's some insights for you about this game. Like, what is this game as we share the All-American Classic with you? Understand the players, the amount of players that have gone to the major leagues, the first-round picks, and it's names you've heard of, all the names you've heard of. Posey, McCutchen, Harper, Bryant, Freeman. You see Porcello. That's this MVP-type developmental tool. As R.J. Austin takes low. Gonzo finished with his conversation. A little bit more work back there to do for Ike Irish.
In fact, Darren, we watched the Phillies-Padres game right before this game started. Phillies victory. But Bryce Harper in that game. Ryan Weathers, former PG All-American, pitched. Eric Hosmer, perfect game All-American over there at first base. We had Archie Bradley and Zach Wheeler, who didn't pitch today on the Phillies roster. Andrew McCutchen, who you saw there, MVP, perfect game All-American. So the rosters were just littered with perfect game All-Americans.
That's cool. That's really, really cool. Trent Grisham as well with the Padres, a PG All-American.
I left Trent out.
You can't hog them all, David. I mean, you're like an encyclopedia next to me. Breaking ball. Boy, it's a good breaking ball. I mean, it's really got late break to it.
I'm liking R.J. Austin's swings right here. This is a good at-bat. He's got himself in a good count, and he's taken one dangerous hack for the strike.
You like it for a reason, Hunter Pence. Into center field. He'll play to pair. On the ground, hit it firm. Use the big part of the ballpark. Ball trickles away toward that dugout. R.J. Austin under the microscope of Mr. Pence. You liked what you saw, and that ended up being a beautiful piece of hitting.
Yeah, he was kind of getting on the timing, and Snelling's throwing a lot of pitches in this inning, and he, that was painted on the corner right there. But he was just kind of locked in and seen everything was ahead in the count, got a fastball, and got a barrel to it right up the middle, driving in a couple runs.
Good base running. Also moved. He was going to be on second regardless of where that throw was, but sat and waited while the center fielder made his decision.
You got your stopwatch, David?
I have my stopwatch.
All right, Michael Gupton is hitting, folks, out of Raleigh, North Carolina, the sub 660 twice at Perfect Games National Showcase. Breaking ball, little roller. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Now I'm just going to say this, not to say that set Michael Gupton up for something, but the fastest time I've ever got home to first for a teenager, a high schooler, was Byron Buxton at 3:87.
Okay.
So 3:87 is sort of, at least on my stopwatch, and I have a pretty cynical stopwatch.
Breaking ball froze him that time. That's frustrating for him. He wanted to take a whack at it.
Ask me hey, what's been the most impressive to you? I'd throw up my hands and just say all of them. Defer.
This is Hayden Murphy. He'd love to jump into the fun. He's out of Chula, Georgia. He's an Auburn commit. And that one rides up and in, just a little bit out of the zone. MLB All-Star game. He took part in that. And the talent there, he'll tell you, I'm a low mid-90s arm, good run on my fastball, slider with a lot of sweep as he pours a fastball to Dakota Jordan over the outside corner. Let's get to know Dakota just a little bit as he takes this opportunity. He's out of Canton, Mississippi. Doolin's Dodgers, his travel team. He's a Mississippi State commit. And 6 times he's been an all-tournament team member. As we're meeting two guys at the same time, Murphy and Jordan. David, what can you tell us about Jordan?
Well, you mentioned he's going to Mississippi State. He's going to Mississippi State on a two-way scholarship. Tremendous football player, tremendous baseball player. And you saw the graphic on 6'2", 225. He's also ranks among the probably top 10 fastest players in this game with a 6'4", 60 to his credit. So there's power, there's speed, and obviously high level athleticism.
So Mike Leach is waiting for him, too, to play football at Mississippi State. Chris Lemonis, he will wait, the College World Series champions. Big swing, he fouled it off. You might remember, he goes to this young man, Jackson Academy. If you really follow the game and the prospects, Jackson Academy is where a young man by the name of Jerrion Ely went a couple of years ago, PG All-American, like this man. He went to Ole Miss. He's a couple of years ahead. He's a star player on that football team now. Chases up and in. Ely could win a Heisman Trophy over the next couple of years. He's that special as a running back.
He's a guy you're going to see play in the NFL, no doubt. He held the 60 record at the National Showcase before Michael Gupton obliterated it. But, yeah, you see that kind of speed on the football field as well. And of course, Dakota Jordan heading in the same direction.
Ike Irish now, Hudsonville, goes to work. Michigan man, Orchard Lake, St. Mary's Prep, Auburn commit. As that one dives down and in. Artillery squad, his travel team. Kelly and Jeff are Ike's family. Grandpa had some time in the minor leagues with the Indians. Dad with the Blue Jays. Good pitch, fastball in on his hands at 90 miles an hour, long run. And a nice job sticking with it, putting that one away, ranging into foul territory. Roman Anthony with the out there in left field.
Well, Hayden Murphy, you know, has the makings of a quick inning this inning. He played in the 14U Festival in 2018 as a primary infielder. So he's a young man who's converted to a full-time pitcher, you know, over his high school career. As we see Clint Hurdle make his way out to the mound.
They're sharing some time late in the game, making sure everyone gets a chance to pitch and play. Well, that was good stuff from Murphy. I mean, really good stuff, David. I mean, just strong.
Yeah, and he's one of the more projectable pitchers in this class. I mentioned he's a very high-level athlete who's still really converting to a full-time pitcher. You know, that young 6'3", 185 body. And, you know, was, 90, 93, nice breaking ball. Nice calmness on the mound.
Allow us to introduce you to Jacob Miller. He takes on this assignment. Jacob will go to work, this right-hander, out of Baltimore, Ohio, Liberty Union High School. Jim and Dana are his mom and dad and mom, I should say. Siblings, Alicia, Andrea, and Austin. This is Jake. He plays for the Canes national travel team, and he is committed to go to Louisville.
And you saw he and his catcher Brady Neal, you know, communicating a bit there. You could almost imagine Brady Neal go, okay, what are you going to be throwing? Because these guys haven't worked together. I'll tell you what he's going to be throwing, Brady. He's going to be throwing curveballs. He might be throwing some of the best curveballs you've ever seen, too. Because this is a primary curveball guy. He'll be up to 94, 93, but the curveball is his pitch.
Hey, Drew Jones, we're going to put you under the watchful eye of Diamond Kinetics. And it's been interesting with his DK numbers. Textbook power hitter swinging, attacks the ball on a slight upward angle. You can see there, 15 degrees plus. That's going to elevate the ball at contact. 71 mile an hour barrel speed will create exit velocity in the 100% category, 100 plus mile per hour category. And a 27 score on impact momentum tells you he can swing a big bat that does real damage. When you dissect his swing with Diamond Kinetics, you understand why he's tearing it up this summer and projected as a power hitter at the next level. David, definitely impressive. He's going to be fun to watch over the next couple of years. Yeah, Diamond Kinetics.
And he doesn't swing like a power hitter. It's a tall stance. It's a quick, short swing. But you mentioned the angle that he has. You see the 10 home runs. I think he had 16 in the spring in high school. So a young man who has a fluid swing, but I love that 15-degree launch angle there. And it's not something that you've had to teach him at the next level.
Favorites, but I have one. Austin Henry takes the rock and he rolls. He's from Del Rapids, South Dakota. This young man, this 2022 grad, who loves baseball because his dad still plays in amateur men's leagues around town in South Dakota. has a spin rate, David, of comfortably over 3,000. There's an athleticism. He's a bright, bright future. And this young man is a Wichita State commit. Mid-South prospects, and also playing traditional American Legion baseball this summer.
Now we get to argue. We can have two. Both of us can have the same favorite player. Now, I love Austin. I love the potential there, the athleticism. I love that he's from Del Rapids, South Dakota, and all those things you said about small town baseball. You know, his family is living it.
Yeah, his dad gets out and plays all the time. His dad, Nate, his mom is Tammy. His foe right now is Tucker Toeman, and Tucker Toeman takes a fastball that is high.
Tucker Toeman has that look in his eye, like that hitter look. Like I'm about to hit something. I love his attitude, and he's just got the hitting face. If there's a hitting face out there, he's got it.
Nice.
Good swings, good approach.
As he claps his hands to get a little dirt there, Hunter Pence. Tucker's out of Columbia, South Carolina, as an LSU commit. This going to the 14U Select Festival for Perfect Game, one of his great accomplishments. Ready for a fastball. I'm going to tell you this right now. Just a man who has been on predicting good looks and good at-bats, Hunter. Nice job. That's twice now.
He had the hit face on. I could see it in his eyes. When you see someone that's, really good at what they do, there's a different look in their eye, and he just, he came through for me. But I did miss a little bit with Jones. He had some good at-bats, some tough calls, but right there that was a good swing. That kid can hit, Tucker.
And you haven't seen him hit right-handed yet.
No, I haven't.
He's a marginally better hitter, left-handed, but he is a legit switch hitter,
okay.
at the highest levels of the game. There's plenty of right-handed bat speed there, too.
Breaking ball skips in there, trying to keep it out front. Ike Irish is the catcher. Elijah Green hits. The #1 player in the land, Elijah Green. A rocket single in his first at-bat earlier tonight. You remember his dad, Eric, who played for a long time in the NFL. A lot of that time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Elijah can play football for sure. Just now his focus is on baseball. A little bit more on Elijah Green. Let's bring Danny Wexelman back in. Hey, Danny.
Hi, Darren. You mentioned his dad, Eric, and Eric is at every single event that Elijah goes to. He's always rocking a bucket hat, and Elijah told me his dad inspires him. He pushes him, and he told him you never know who's watching him. And football Sundays, he said, there's a lot of screaming at the TV watching the Steelers.
That's good stuff, Danny, with so many great conversations with these athletes. Inside, 3-0 the count. Well, that's a good breaking ball, David. It's got that spin to it.
3,200 plus on the spin rate, and like we were talking about with Caden Dana before, it's a true over-the-top curveball. That almost looked like it was coming back the other way. It had such 12-6 on it.
Trying to find the strike zone, though. This is a big moment for this young man, and you can understand why the heart rate cranks up just a little bit. As that one misses high and in, and Green draws the walk. Getting to know the young man recently, had him on our MLB Network radio show. Austin Henry, there is a lot to like. And again, very respectful, small town approach for sure. Fell in love with Wichita State. Eric Wedge is his coach there. He loves that program.
Oh yeah, he's a phenomenal guy to talk about baseball, talk about mentality. When I walk into a room, I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and Henry here, he definitely could have a Vidal Sassoon shampoo, hair conditioner kind of contract. He's got some good fluffy flow.
That's a good mention by you, Hunter. Taking us back in time.
I'll never forget that quote. It's a good mentality to have.
Talking about Eric Wedge. That's the other radio property that we have. Hunter Pence and I host Perfect Game College Baseball every Tuesday night on ESPNU on Sirius XM at 10 o'clock Eastern. Every Tuesday night, year-round. Not just a seasonal show. Hunter's not in halfway, folks. And Eric Wedge was one of our favorites.
Yeah, Wedge is impressive. Impressive guy. It's going to be awesome for any kid that goes and plays for him.
Been looking for a good G-form play of the game here. We might have found one with a couple of runners on out here, as that one misses outside. Look, When you knock one over the wall, you're the G-form play of the game. Guys, this is his home run earlier, Hunter.
And that's just a sweet swing. Short to the ball, 3-2 count. Was looking for a fastball. Middle end, didn't try to do too much. And a lot of times that's when you do a lot more. So that ball got out of here in a hurry and got the East team started.
Big exhale from Austin Henry. Bounces a breaking ball in there. David, he's having a tough time. He didn't have this battle at National, but he has a big stage, and the strike zone's elusive on him right now.
And it's something we see a lot at PG showcases, whether it's a small regional event or the biggest stage that we put out here. And we have to acknowledge these are young men, and they're nervous when they get out there. And we're going to have a little visit to the mound by Manny Hermosillo to calm down the right-hander.
Well, he is a legendary coach, folks. Allow us to introduce you to Manny from Montgomery High School in San Diego, California. And we'll tell you about the rest of the squad. Luis Lorenzana is on that squad as well from Eastlake High School in San Diego. Rico Billups from Atlanta. Program there, a couple of them. Brett Kay from J. Sarah Catholic up in San Juan Capistrano, one of the strongest programs in the nation, all working under Gonzo on that staff. That's a coaching legend right there, though. So revered in Southern California down here in the San Diego area. Here's Ryan Clifford. Another chance for this talented young man, Ryan Clifford.
Coach Hermosillo's words must have been soothing as Henry getting ahead in the count right away.
So what is Henry when things are going right for him? What is he's featuring the high fastball, curveball?
Yeah, it's a curveball heavy approach. The fastball was up to 92, I believe, at PG National, but it's really the curveball that's his separator. And you just wonder, back playing Legion ball in Del Rapids, South Dakota, what hitters think of that breaking ball back there?
He's fighting himself tonight, though. Man, it's such a bright future. There's so much to be excited about. Let's see if against Clifford he can find the strike zone as he wants.
And that's really a difference between playing the Legion ball back in South Dakota and stuff versus going to the big tournaments, the WWBA 17 under. That's way, way high in the air to right field.
Heading into the corner and making the play out there. That scores the run. Nice job just sticking with it. Trickling. Mari Boyd made that play in foul territory. And Clifford scores. A run. Drives one in. 9-1.
Keep adding on, having good at bats. Opportunity to get an RBI here and get the ball in the air. Gets a fastball over the plate and looks like he just got under it. He hit that ball. That's a big league sacrifice fly right there. And, RBI. It's a good at bat.
So Roman Anthony now. Maybe a little bit of an exhale for this man on the mound. No matter the score, I mean, just trying to find that. Yikes. Breaking ball for a strike. Sometimes just that first out you get.
Yeah, you want to get that slot and that timing with those big curveballs. It's hard to get it in for a strike, and right there he finally got that feel. He got the out, and hopefully now he can kind of click in the timing.
Beat him with a fastball in. He knocked one over the boards the other night in the scrimmage early on. And gosh, it was fun to watch. And this is no doubter too. Big ballpark at the University of San Diego. Beautiful facility. A couple years ago, there was a man by the name of Bryce Harpo who used to hit it on the buildings out there as a PG All-American. How about that, David?
You wouldn't think to see it that somebody could hit the ball on the top of those dorms.
No. Well, Bryce did just that. So Roman's in good club. That's in a good club. He's with good company there. That's a fastball. Jumps at the plate. There's that second out. I'm guessing he was thinking breaking ball there. We get to see Tamar hit one more time.
Let's go, Mar.
That's the one thing about, he seems to have the real four seam and then the curveball off of that, working the top of the zone. But it's a real feel thing, and you have to really have command of it. So right there, he's finally getting a little bit of his, letting the high curveball come in for a strike and then playing the high fastball off of it to get the chase.
Hammer dives low. My goodness.
I mean, that's straight up and down as it gets, and it's sharp when it's right, but he's got to get a little bit of the command and the timing. This is going to be a good at-bat right here to watch.
Give him a good breaking ball, good fastball. 1-1 the count. Austin Henry out of Del Rapids, South Dakota. Mid-South prospects. Berryera post 307 his Legion team. There are so many times we've said that Canes travel team tonight. They're such a power. They do such a great job. You can count a half dozen playing in this game. Not more as that one's fouled off, but it is fun to still mention a Legion guy on occasion.
Oh yes, definitely fun there. We saw our first changeup.
Pretty good one?
Yeah, pretty good. They got Tamara way out front, dribbled it foul. 82 miles an hour on the velocity.
1-2 the count. I thought he was going to throw him a breaking ball. Pence, I thought he was going to throw him one.
I feel like Tamar needs to check his bat. It looked like something went flying off of it on that changeup, but I think he acts like it's fine.
Oh, good take. We had a chance to talk with one of the great spin rate guys of all time at a PGA event, Carter Stewart, the other day, who's a couple of years into pro ball now in Japan. Signed a long-term deal there after having things not work out, being picked very high by the Braves, then going the junior college route. He loves it over there. He loved this event too. He really has vivid memories of this. That one sails high. It's ball 4.
It's a remarkable job right there by Irish to keep that ball in his glove. That's an athletic move, but good at bat once again by Termar Johnson. He seems to just find a way to get things done every time he goes up to the plate.
Here's Jared Jones. You think of what a big moment it is for a guy like Austin Henry. His brother Jack is watching. Maddie Sis, who's 12. Ryan, who's 8. A big night for the East squad. Boy, pretty good pitch, just a little bit low.
Jared's been kind of involved in all of it.
Yeah, he has.
He's been, throwing some people out. He's gotten a couple knocks, snuck in to home plate on a good play. Showed off the wheels a little bit.
Challenged him with a fastball. It was a good reminder. That shot we had just a moment ago. Pence and I are going to drive through and grab some tacos on the way home.
Sounds great. I could go for some tacos.
Some mini tacos. Jack in the Box. 2-1. 2-2 the count.
Oppo tacos?
Well, we'll see what happens in the next inning if there will be an Oppo taco, because that would be run number 2 and hit number 1 for the West team.
Yeah, 1 is the loneliest number.
Right now, 0 is very lonely. 2-2 the count. There's that good breaking ball. Jones, Bear, out of Marietta, Georgia, rolls that one foul.
I kind of like what he did here, and it was really quick. He was looking fastball, and then you saw him recognize the changeup, and he kind of kicked his back foot to get in position to hit it.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Got him to chase a fastball up and out of the zone. In the meantime, the West squad seeking their first hit in this game. Oh, baby, he came up with it. Look at Ryan Clifford keep that no-no alive.
I thought you got him. But Clifford comes in and just robs him of a nice little blooper. Line drive over here. Let's see this. Let's see it make determination drive, and he's probably staring into the lights, but he makes the play. Smooth operator.
Yeah, it's such a hard play when you think the ball was driven. I thought it was driven off the bat as well, but right off the end of the bat. We're only going to see Jacob Miller for one pitch this inning. 1 pitch, 1 out, and he will be finished with his night. I guess we're going to bring in the closer right now, big Riley Stanford.
Riley Stanford, the Georgia Bombers, Riley Stanford. Hey, by the way, want to mention Tommy Specht out of Dubuque, Iowa, and this talented East Coast Sox Kentucky commit. Specht is fist bumps and high fives. Welcome Riley Stanford to the mound. But I'd be remiss if I didn't point out Specht. Perfect game, born in Iowa, and this is an Iowa player in Tommy Specht. And a talented all-state baseball player. He just went after the first pitch, unfortunately, Tommy. We didn't get to talk about you much, but a 5-tool player, Tommy Specht, again, part of this Perfect Game All-American Classic. And I've enjoyed getting to know him this week. Riley Stanford, Gainesville, Georgia. We've seen him with the bat in his hands already. This is kind of a big fella that does a lot of damage. Bat and arm.
And arm.
What are we seeing as a pitcher, D?
Yeah, it's a power approach. There's no doubt about it. You can look at him just warming up for the inning there. That's kind of a reliever profile delivery, and it's just big heat. Mid to upper 90s fastball, power slider, nothing fancy about it. Maybe the fanciest part is that leg recoil after release. But yeah, he's going to bring the heat and challenge these West hitters for the last 2 outs.
Hey, don't forget, by the way, to download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your favorite team and the rest of the league. The MLB app. The Dodgers fan, pick the Dodgers. You have the little icon on your phone. You're a Giants fan, pick the Giants. That icon will be right there. The MLB app. All right, the big fella with the no-hitter alive, Pence.
What's that?
Well, you gave me permission to talk it. You gave me permission to actually be a broadcaster in the last inning. I appreciate it.
I gave you permission? Mr. Award-winning
There's
broadcaster.
no awards in my home.
Lenscomb pitched the only no-hitter in Petco Park history on July 13th, 2013. Threw 150. I don't remember exactly how many, but it was pretty impressive. So we'll see if the East can close out this thing that's happening where they haven't necessarily gotten one of those things.
Okay.
But you know what? He looks like a closer to me. Definitely has closer-ish mentalities.
First pitch, sinking, ground ball. Malcolm Moore puts it on the ground. The Stanford commit and the talented catcher. That's turned into the second out of the inning. By the way, that no-hitter that Hunter was talking about, thrown by Lincecum, Hunter saved it in the 8th inning with a diving play in center field.
So you were the Ryan Clifford of that game.
I did my best Clifford impression. By the way, we're also looking at another Major League record. We're looking at a potential, and probably a PG All-American record, 3-pitch inning. There's a chance for it.
There is a chance for it. Of course,
record's being broken.
We also have a potential 10-pitcher no-hitter here, which even in today's big league
probably some
baseball,
kind of record somewhere, maybe.
Hey, David Horn, I'm glad you got a chance to hit. He's out of Murrieta, California. Plays the deep and talented Jay Serra for Brett Kay. He's a San Diego show guy and the son of Patricia and Dave. And this is a two-way guy, David Ronsley. Obviously a great talent. Has played varsity basketball in high school as well. He can hit and he can pitch.
And I'm glad to see him getting a chance to hit here as he pops that one foul, because he was scheduled to pitch on Friday. He's a primary pitcher. We've seen him up to 94, big curveball, but was unable to pitch on Friday. So it's nice to see him get a chance to hit tonight and get out on the field. And the East dugout a little louder right now than the West dugout.
They are. That one misses down and away.
Here's the thing is, when these players all go to college and see each other again, they're going to hear about this for a while. So you're really rooting actually over there on the west side to get a hit right here.
David Horn, a recent Vanderbilt commit, takes a pitch that is high. Takes that catcher's mitt off of young Brady Neal. And he's got $1 million smile underneath that mask. Let's see if David can break it up. Out of Mission Viejo area. Here's the pitch. Horn fouls it off. 3-2 the count. Trying to win this game has been owned by the West the last decade. But the tide has turned.
David said the East was the favorite.
Yeah, on paper, but it never works out that way. You know, baseball's not played on paper, but you know, it's just a phenomenal class of talent from the East, and they've definitely had the upper hand tonight.
3-2 the count. Into the catcher's mitt. The East wins the perfect game All-American Classic, and they do it with a no-hitter in this legendary game. Let the celebration begin. It's a no-hitter.
Talk about emotion. Let's play some ball. Look at him going crazy out there, tick-tocking everywhere. You got to have it.
And this is the kind of emotion that all these players showed all week, you know, all the last 3 days. So it's fun to see the game end that way. You know, it's an emotional group of people. I expect to see the West team out there maybe taking a quick little walk out there to congratulate them, though.
10 East pitchers combined for that no-hitter. Leskos, Ferris, Smith, Berryera, Dana, Muley, St. Jude, Murphy, Miller, and Stanford. A no-hitter for the East squad. One more time, here is the final pitch of this game from the big fella out of Stanford.
I wonder if he's checking the miles per hour right there, or if he's checking to make sure there was no hits. They got to run, but no hits, and he is pumped, and the East is excited. That's good baseball right there. What a heck of a performance by East, and all of the talent out here today. Pretty good hacks, good at bats, and good work, and showcasing that talent there.
Now they're celebrating out there. They've got to send their MVP back in, whoever the MVP of this game is, because we've got a big moment here. Dusty Jaquins of Top Chops is down. Trevor Hoffman, our great host, the Hall of Famer, is down. I know Danny's not too far away. And what an incredible contest that was tonight. I'm thinking it's got to be Luke Heyman. He homered in this game. And so certainly, what a lot of fun this was. I mean, it really, really was. There's some pictures, as Hunter said, they're tick-tocking, they're dancing, they're having fun. Heyman headed to Florida. He homered in this game. Spectacular.
Homers are definitely MVP worthy, but so is no-hit baseball. But it's tough to pick one pitcher when they all contributed.
Yeah.
Danny Wexelman standing by. She's going to have a conversation with the MVP. Dusty Jaquins of Top Chops is with her. Trevor Hoffman as well. Danny, take it away.
Darren, thank you so much. I have Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman here, as well as Top Chops CEO Dusty Jaquins, here to present Luke Heyman with the MVP award for the East team. All right, Luke. The last time the East team won this was 2015. The last time there was a no-hitter in the All-American Classic, never. A Gatorade bath, well deserved for that. So as I was saying, 2015 was the last time East won. There has never been a no-hitter at the Perfect Game All-American Classic. You caught 3 pitchers in this game. How special is this East team?
We got a bunch of talent, and it's just fun to come out here and play with these players. You know, East Coast better than the West Coast.
Did you realize what was happening in this game? Because I think everyone was talking about it in the dugout.
Yeah, I actually did say something about it, and they kind of hated me for a little bit, but it doesn't matter. We still got the no-hitter.
You told me in July that you've been working on your timing and going gap to gap. You hit an early 2-run home run in this game. So mullet magic, how proud are you of your hitting?
It's just exciting that I be able to play in this stadium and play with the best players, and happy that and blessed that I could able to do that. So thank you.
And lastly, but most importantly, more than $108,000 raised between both teams for Rady Children's Hospital. Why is that part of this game the most impactful?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the game. You know, you get to help out the kids that are less fortunate and wish that they could be in our shoes. So it's good to give back to them and see the smiles on their face.
Can we see the mullet one more time? There it is. Luke, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Darren, back to you.
Oh, Danny, great interview, great stuff. Thank you very much. Oh, that mullet. Oh, that mullet. Well, we had a lot of fun. Hunter Pence, David Ronsley, Darren Sutton. We were honored to be a part of telling the stories of these athletes. It's always a thrill. Hunter, this is the first time you've done this game with us. What's your takeaway?
These kids can pump some cheddar. They got some nasty stuff. These guys have great at-bats, but that was one beautiful mullet to say, hey, kid.
What do you think, David, what you saw tonight?
I said at the start of the broadcast that this 2022 class was going to be the class of the high school pitcher. The draft is going to be oriented on that. And, boy, did we see that out there today, not just with the East pitchers, but the West pitchers as well.
I'm going to go a little bit sappier and deeper. This whole group went through a pandemic. They lost their high school season. They didn't play at all last year. They had to recreate themselves. This class is, and along with this year's draft class, has always been my favorite class. So I'm excited about this class. I'm excited with all they went through, the work that they went through. I'm blown away with how great of students they are. I'm blown away with how much they give back to the community. So it was just great. You did a heck of a job, Pence. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Darren.
Will you do more with us?
Oh, I would love to. I thank y'all for having me. These kids have such great